She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another day and she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace. She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another day and she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace.
Excuse me, what is your name?
Brit Barbie.
Look at you. I want to rap. Give me beats like oh.
Period 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 period
Okay.
period period
Okay.
period
I like that. I can work with that. I can work with that. Listen, I am African, period period and I eat my food with spices, not just black pepper and salt. Some of us live in mansions, not the wooden house we rent. Black is king, royalty. So the rest, pay respect. That's on.
Period period.
What?
Period period.
Hey.
Period
Okay.
Period.
Okay, it does do. It's enough. It is okay. Keep quiet. I say it is. You are talking too much. Keep quiet. It is okay. Oh my God.
Hello, litigators and opinionators. Court is now in session. Happy New Year to those who have started the beautiful year off. Let's hope and pray the year goes by well this year and everybody has blessings upon blessings. But y'all, this story actually happened back in October. And I have been wanting to talk about this story because y'all, we need to really, really bring awareness as it relates to domestic violence because it appears to be on the rise. I mean, if I covered every story related to domestic violence, I don't think I'd ever be able to sleep because there's so many stories. This story is so sad because this story really raises awareness as to, you can be the whole package, giving your whole life, your soul. This woman really spoiled this man that she was with to a T, man, up to the point of giving him $10,000 for his birthday, y'all. I said that right. $10,000 for his birthday. And he paid her back by taking her life. So who is this young lady on the screen? Her name is Desay Stevenson, and she is just a ray of light. We actually are going to look at a video of her because she is such a ray of light. She's just so vibrant, so happy, so full of life. But this young lady, and one thing about her too, she was an entrepreneur. She had her own businesses. She had multiple businesses. One of her businesses was clothing. She sold all kinds of women's fashion, clothes, and she also had her own tax preparation business. So she was a multi-entrepreneur and she was doing a thing, y'all. She was making her money. But this is sad. We hear this type of story with a lot of our women. A lot of our women in society are successful in and on their own. I mean, they're educated, they have businesses, they have very nice careers. I've heard of doctors and lawyers and psychologists and all these women of high class because society tells them that they have to have a man in order to have value. A lot of these women, when they start to age, or even when they're just in their mere 20s, they just get desperate for any man and they lower their standards. It's as if they have high standards in terms of their career, in terms of their living, in terms of their style of life. But when it comes to a man, it's like they settle so much. And that's what she did. Ladies, if you're out there and you are looking for a spouse, make sure you take your time, number one. And number two, when you do find someone that has a potential, they have to be equal to who you are. If you're educated, if you have, if you're middle class, higher class person, you need to date someone on your level because if you don't, it can lead. I mean, even if you do, they can still lead to it. So that's not the only factor, guys. But this is one of the many factors you want to look at: are they financially compatible to you, career wise, and do they have a level head in terms of maintaining their sense of self and their emotions? Do they have emotional intelligence? Looking at, can they handle their anger? Do they have self-control? Things like that. These are factors that we want to look at in terms of a spouse. But sometimes we get so caught up with the external, or because society says we have to get a man, or because we feel lonely. We have to try to focus on finding a value within ourselves before we start looking out and dating, because the dating world is getting more and more dangerous. And I am seeing countless stories of women being unalived left and right when they're ready to leave these relationships. And I'm actually going to cover another story like this, but it's like people are literally taking this till death do us part language very literally in all kinds of relationships. Even there's the relationships where these people have dated these guys for maybe 1 month or 2 months, very short time frame, and these guys lose their mind and unalive the woman. So it's very dangerous. But I wanted to talk about this woman because there's so many factors in her story that I think we can learn. So like I said, this young lady, she had it all when she first started out her life. She was a multi-entrepreneur. She was doing her thing, guys. She was going on luxury trips. I mean, she had it all. And if she would have just focused on, her success, and this is not her, this is like an outfit. If she would have just focused on her success, these are some of the clothes that she sold in her fashion line, some of the purses. But if she would have just focused on another one of her outfits that she sold on her clothing line, you see all the models that she had here. So if Desay would have just focused on that, on her career, on her success, and started to learn about the joy within herself before deciding to get married to the wrong person, I don't think we would have been here today. But see, Desay, even though she was successful, she had these wonderful clothing line, like I was saying. And hi, Yesum, Happy New Year, beautiful. Hi, Happy New Year. But if she would have just focused on that, she would be here today. But here's what happened. Desay, even though she had all of this success, I mean, she was very vibrant. We're going to look at some social media from her and stuff. And she had a great career, great money. She was doing the thing. Like most women and men, sometimes she became lonely. She became lonely. And on top of that, she felt very insecure about who she was. And in fact, in one of her videos, she put this man, I'm telling you guys, she put this man on a straight pedestal. And I know people are like, what man are you talking about? Let me show you guys a picture of this man, because I know some people are in the chat like, who are you talking about? This monkey look man right here, looking a hot mess. This man right here is a gutter dude. No career, no goals in life, nothing, no aspirations. He came straight out of prison, y'all. He was in and out of jail. He had a deadbeat dad, and he used to talk about how, his dad abandoned him and all these things. He just was a victim. This is a man that was a narcissist. He only cared about himself. That's all he cared about, what he could get from a woman. What could a woman benefit from him? He had no goals in her life. Whereas we had Desay, who was living her best life. And she got caught up in love and in her own desperation. It's sad. I'm not trying to blame her for being desperate, but I'm saying she didn't really love herself. And she even admitted this on a video when she said, my man is so fine and I'm so ugly. I can't believe he loves me and I'm not attractive. Like, she felt in herself that she wasn't attractive, which I don't agree with. I think she's beautiful. But, sometimes when we don't love ourselves, then we choose partners that are not worthy of us. So let's just talk about the story a little bit. Actually, before we start talking about the story, let's look at some of her social media really quick. Because this young lady, she literally spoiled this man. She spoiled him. She gave him $10,000, got him luxury clothes, rings, jewelry when he got out of jail. She chose a man in prison. Again, we have to look at people who are on our level. And Desay didn't love herself, and she chose a man that was not even at her level, who envied her. You see, when you choose a man that is not at your level, or woman, if you are a man, choose a woman that's not at your level, the individuals who already feel insecure in who they are, and when they get with you, who are, maybe thriving in success and so forth, they begin to envy you. They begin to envy your success, and they begin to see themselves as failures, and they begin to blame you for their own life failures. And some of that envy can turn into resentment. And then you notice they start becoming abusive and controlling and being mean to you because they've harbored this anger towards you because their life is not doing well. So that's why it's not healthy to pick a partner that is not at your level, which you would say. So let's look at some of her social media before we get into what unfortunately happened to this beautiful young lady.
My world. Let's make sure you put some take us. Y'all gotta take us together. With my baby. I love him.
You can tell right here, just looking at this first part right here. First of all, I can see an imbalance in this video. She had more love for him than he even had for her. In fact, looking at just this body language here, he didn't have any feelings for her at all. No love. In fact, this man is not capable of loving anyone but himself. That's all he cares about, himself. It is because he was raised in a family where it was very broken and dysfunctional. So his whole life he was in survival mode. So he was taught at a very young age that if he didn't look out for himself, no one would. So he took those feelings and perceptions into his adulthood, which made him incapable of feeling any type of self-care for anyone else but himself. So in this situation, we have Desay, who comes from a background where she, has insecurity about herself. And she feels that she needs to shower her men with all this love in order to keep them so they won't leave her. Because, again, she feels in less than a woman without having some type of partner by her side. So here I can see an imbalance here already. She loves him way more. She's showering him with all this love and attention. And you could just look at him. He really doesn't seem to be exuding the same energy back to her. Once there's an imbalance like this in a relationship, it can already lead down a tunnel of abuse because this man is basically taking advantage of the love she has for him.
I love him so much.
This one's for.
Did you guys see that? When she said love him so much, he looked down. He did not reciprocate at all her emotions back to her. That I find to be very disturbing. Look at this one more time. Let's repeat that one more time. Look at his body language versus her.
With my baby. I love him. I love him so much.
It's as if he completely disconnected with her. As soon as she said love him so much, he looked away and backed away because he knew inside he did not feel the same way for her. It's quite sad. He knew exactly what he was doing from the very beginning. And his whole purpose was to use this woman up for everything he could, financially. That was really what he wanted from this girl. I don't even think he was even really into her ever. I think he really wanted the financial resources from this woman. My opinion.
This one's for couples. 13 embarrassing questions. Who overthinks everything? Who showers less? Who is always eating? Who has a nicer butt? Who is more possessive? Who drools more? Who is the better driver? Who curses more? Who always sleeps in? Who is always on their phone? Who has the worst singing voice? Who takes the most selfies? Who is the lawbreaker?
Evil exists in this world. Trust no one.
Are you going to let the greedy heating companies and their crazy high prices
Sorry,
decide
guys,
if
about
your
the ad
family is
there.
allowed to stay warm this winter?
But
Desay grew up in a small
Sorry, guys. I'm using this from
leveling her
a story. So some of it has narrative in here, which I don't really want the narrative part. I just really want the social media aspect. But there you see, like when it said the lawbreaker, she pointed at him. That's another thing that is very disturbing here. She knew that he was violating the law, and she chose to be with a man like that. When a man or a woman shows you who they are, believe them. That's another lesson we can learn from this story is she knew he was violating the law. She was with him when he was in prison. So if this is a person who cannot follow the law, what makes you think he has any form of regard for the law in terms of how he treats you or he or she treats you? It's another red flag that, again, sometimes we get so caught up in these relationships that we overlook the red flags because of, insecurity, because of maybe he love bombed the person, he or she love bombed that person, and told them a fake story. They do a lot of future faking, saying, oh, I love you, I'm going to be with you forever, all these lies. If it's too good to be true, it usually is. But let's keep going, look at some more of her social media.
Very business savvy, wearing her clothing pieces and showing them off on social media every chance she got, and she had the perfect body to show off her pieces. Almost everything she wore, she sold. And there is no doubt she was destined to be the successful businesswoman she was. And she was just scratching the surface of what she could accomplish in her lifetime. She had a beautiful 17-year-old daughter.
And the sad part here is she had a 17-year-old daughter too. We endanger our children. We endanger those around us. That's her daughter, how close they were. And, she initially, focused on trying to keep her daughter safe. But, in time when, she had all the success and things going for her life, she started just focusing on, I need a man. And you don't always need a man or a woman to be happy. Sometimes it's better to just be focused on your well-being. She got caught up with this man, and his name is Michael, aka Miracle Measy, a monkey-lipped man who love bombed her, y'all. Love bombed the heck out of this girl. I mean, this is what happens with men in prison. They don't have anything else going on in their life when they're in prison. So what they do is they will reach out to some woman or however they get in contact with these people. Or they probably knew the person before they even went to jail. And they will love bomb them because that's all they have time to do in jail is love bomb these women, because they use these women in order to, put money on their books, take care of them. When they're in jail, that person, the woman that or the man who is out of jail is their only source. So they're going to shower them with all the love and attention and just give them all these fake promises that they plan to do when they get out of jail. But as soon as they get out of jail, somebody say in the chat, as soon as they get out of the jail, y'all, they start acting a hot tamale mess. And so when he got out of jail, y'all, she started showering this man, a man who already was dysfunctional, who grew up in a dysfunctional home, who had no father, who what felt like he was the victim of the world. Like the whole world exists around this man. That's all his mentality was all about, himself. And she brought this man who was a criminal, a career criminal, into the home with her 16-year-old daughter, y'all. Yes, I said that correctly. 16-year-old daughter. They had just got married, y'all, April 20th of last year. April 20th, 2023. As soon as they got out of jail, she went and married this man. April 20th, 2023. Before he unalived her several months later, y'all. Several months later. And now the 16-year-old daughter does not have a mother. And she didn't even have a father at the time. But now she doesn't have a mother. Lost everything. That's why it's important that we be careful who we fall in love with. We have to raise our standards and take our time. One of the biggest things we can learn from the story, this is another beautiful picture of her. And it's sad because she didn't love herself, but she was yet so beautiful. One thing we have to do when we're dating is take our time. A lot of things is fast paced in this society. We're so quick to rush into these relationships. You know, the man or woman you're with, either way, whatever gender, if they're dysfunctional, they will love bomb the heck out of you, put you on a pedestal, make you think that you are God's gift to mankind. And one of the sayings that always proves to be true, if it sounds too good to be true, it really is. And what makes this so sad is Desay not only cared for her 16-year-old daughter, but she also cared for her mother, who was disabled. So a lot of people lost so much when Desay was brutally unalived because of the man she chose. Again, is it her fault? No, but it's something we can use as a learning tool for future individuals out there to hopefully save a life in the future. This young lady had it all. And, you know, here you can even see her. She said, come file your taxes with me so I can make you smile. Y'all know I'm working hard so my clients can get their money right on time. Come see me at my South Dallas location. I mean, she was doing her thing, you guys. She not only had her clothing business, she had her own taxing, everything. She was doing her dang thing, y'all, all by herself. You know, I was on this podcast today, and I was hearing different women's stories. And one woman said, you know, there's so many people in her life that she knows, women who or men who have been doing, or women who have been doing so well in their life, doctors, lawyers, all these things. And then all of a sudden they become lonely. Society tells them they have to hurry up and get a man and be married, or they don't exist, or they don't have value in this world. For example, the Kevin Samuels of our world says that when you reach a certain age or such and such, if you don't have a man, then you're just used products and all that. And it's really all a lie. But we get so sucked into these stereotypes and expectations of society that sometimes these women who already have all this success and achievements in life, they start to get lonely. And when they start to get lonely, they start to get desperate. And when they start to get desperate, they start to lower their standards. Whatever boundaries they once had, they no longer have. And they're willing to accept any little compliment, you know, love bombing a man gives them. And they don't take time. Actually, time will tell. Take time, because at the beginning of some of these relationships, it will be so perfect. They will show you an image of mere perfection like this man did. He was showering this girl, y'all. He was giving her every compliment in the book when he was in jail. That's why when he got out of the jail, that's when he got up out the jail, y'all, she was so in love with this monkey lip man up here. I said, that's his nickname, Monkey Lip. That's what I'm gonna call him, because this man is a hot tamale mess. Okay. And when you got out of jail, you could see the energy that she was giving him was not being reciprocated from him, because he never felt an ounce of anything for this woman. In fact, like I said earlier, he is not capable of loving anyone but himself. Now let's look a little bit more into some of this clip here from this YouTuber here who did a great coverage of it.
Back and was looking forward to spending forever with him. However, in 2016, he got into some trouble with the law and was arrested, charged, convicted, and sentenced to 5 years in prison, which puts Desay's forever with him on hold. She stood by him throughout his time in prison.
See, that's the red flag right there, y'all. The red flag. You see how he just smiling ear to ear in this visit call with him? With her, he was just so sweet to her, y'all, during this time when he was in prison, when he had nobody else to put money on his books and he was locked up inside the jail, y'all. This was when he was working on this woman's emotions, dating back to 2016. Now, this is where we have to focus on our emotions. We have to get control of our emotions, because your emotions can lead to your demise if you are moved solely by that. We have to be able to separate the emotions from the objective observations of the person. And the objective observations that we can see is this man could not even follow the law, landing him 5 years in prison. That alone should have told her right then and there that she needed to walk away from this man. I mean, think about it. An example of that is like Reginae Carter. I don't know if you guys know Reginae Carter. She is the daughter of Lil Wayne. And she was dating that rapper dude. And as soon as that man went to jail and she saw that he could not follow the law, she let him go. That is the type of behavior, the decision making that we as people in society should be having. If a person cannot follow the law, then you shouldn't even be continuing a relationship with you. That's already a red flag that this person can pose a danger to you in the future. Already, if he cannot follow the law. But Reginae is an example of, yes, she may have been in love with this man. Yes, she may have had, years with him. But once she realized this was a man who had a disregard for the law, she broke up with him. Was it hard? Yes, it probably was, because she had love for him. But like I said, we have to separate our feelings from the objective facts in a situation, because our emotions and our perception of what we think to be as love can be a detrimental outcome in our future.
Visiting him as often as she could, and as soon as he was due to get out on May 17, 2021, she went and got him at the prison.
Yeah, that got my
Y'all, this video gives me Love After Lockup right here. This scene right here. I don't know why they were not in Love After Lockup right in this scene. Don't it look like a Love After Lockup scene right here, y'all?
This what they been waiting on, ain't it? Ain't nothing so bad, money to crime them things. This is my this man even no crime. But you get this point, you crime like you ride.
Y'all, this is probably the nicest he ever was towards her. When he got out of jail that day, that probably was the nicest time he was towards her. Because when these individuals like this, when you're dating guys in prison like that, they nice in jail, maybe the first few days out of jail. And after that, they all about themselves. Some of them even leave you. But this man, he was a lowlife. He was going to use this girl to a T. He knew she had 2 different businesses. She was doing her thing, y'all, very lucrative. And he envied her because he was thinking to himself, how come I can't do that? How come I can't have my own stuff? He started to hate this girl, y'all. He started to hate her, and he started to envy her over time. And he knew that literally she was his bank account, basically. So what do you think is going to happen if a man is solely codependent on a woman financially when she is ready to basically leave him? What do you think is going to happen in that situation? He going to take her completely out.
Because my finna eat steaks and shit. You gonna have to pull up today. It's like a bunch of drunk shit going on in the house. I'm finna take them to his mama first stop when I get to Dallas. Huh? You girl on like a drunk. Right. Huh, cousin? Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. You said, what was he in prison for? Girl, let me see. I don't even know what he was in prison for. I'm going to read an article though, and maybe the article will let us know what he was originally in prison for. Maybe. So we'll get into that, girl. We'll get into it. We're going to find out some way, somehow throughout our coverage of the story. But I'm just saying, the fact that he was in prison for a felony charge, and he was in prison, not just a misdemeanor, that was a red flag. And he had a career of just violating the law. If anybody heard this story, maybe y'all could put in the chat what he was in prison for originally, y'all. This happened, Chi back in October, girl. This is an older case. Not an older case. It happened just a few months ago, but I'm just now covering it now, love.
You're not nigga finna be in that bag and he ain't in nothing else. Because he ain't worrying about nothing. He learned his lesson. He good now. Yes.
Did y'all hear what she said? She said he learned his lesson. He good now. Honey, how did you know he learned his lesson, though? She didn't even give him time to see if he learned his lesson. Learning his lesson is seeing how he behaves 5-10 years after prison. Because the first year he may be good. The second year he may be good. Even starting to get into the third year, he might start showing up. And sometimes they don't even be good the first year. But just getting out of jail saying he learned his lesson, that's another thing we need to be careful of, the words that people say. If a person's actions do not match their words, then you know they're lying. A lot of people will love bomb you with their words, but their actions don't line up. And what he was doing was deceiving this woman, and she was love bombing him too, with showering him with all this, steaks and very lavish trips. $10,000 for his birthday, y'all. $10,000 for his birthday. I said that right. She gave this man $10,000. Never in my life would I give a man $10,000. I don't care if I'm married to him. $10,000 though? Wow. I couldn't believe it when I heard she gave him $10,000.
I got my face, my makeup done and stuff. Just to go pick him up. Let me get off. I have to get out live because I don't know if he fantasized about my beauty with my makeup or he just want me to get out live, y'all. I'm figuring to get up out live. Yeah, I had to go live. I had to go live for you. We had a nice room and everything too.
Within a few days, on May 24, 2021, they were married at a courthouse and later had a wedding on September 11, 2022, which she funded.
Okay, let's correct that. So I guess they apparently got married September 2022. But it's interesting though. On her Facebook, she posted the wedding pictures just past April 2023. So I thought that was interesting. Here, let's go back to her Facebook. If we go to her Facebook, she posted these wedding photos, y'all, on April. I don't know if maybe that was like an anniversary thing. That's why I assumed she got married just this past year. But let's go back to that wedding photo. But look at the other red flag here. There was a complete imbalance financially in the relationship. She funded the entire wedding, y'all. Red flag. Red flag. This woman was financially supporting this man. He did not contribute 1 ounce financially to this woman. Not a thing to this woman financially. She was paying for everything. So here you can see, you see that there's some more pictures here from September 12, 2022 here. So this was the rings. She bought the rings, y'all. That's her own ring that she paid for out of her money. Another red flag. He didn't even buy her ring. You ladies, do not marry a man. This is a lesson for us all. Do not marry a man who cannot pay for your ring. That's a red flag in and of itself. Right, like Laura said, she was in love alone. This was a one-sided relationship. She was in a relationship with herself. Basically, he was just a shell of a person there, but she was in a relationship with herself. Do not get married to a man who cannot pay for your ring. I'm sorry. I know that sounds very shallow, but if a man is not contributing financially in a relationship, he cannot formulate love or feelings for you. It has to be some form of sacrifice that he exhibits on his end in order for him to be able to formulate any form of love for you. And we've all been victim of this. All of us ladies have done it. I've done it. Everybody done it, where we have maybe got caught up with the wrong dude and, we paid for stuff. Be careful with that. This was very concerning to see that she paid for her ring. She paid for his rings. She funded the entire wedding. That suit that he has on, she paid for that suit. That gown, she paid for her gown. That whole venue, she paid for it. The rings, she paid for everything. That is a red flag. You do not want to start a marriage with a man who can't even help fund the wedding, y'all. This was a disaster waiting to happen. He was using this woman up. And the thing is, We may think that we're being that supportive spouse by giving to that person. I'm telling you, it never works out in your favor when you do that. It never will. It never, ever will. They will always end up resenting you, and they will always end up taking advantage of you. As sad as it is, man or woman, they have to have some form of reciprocation, especially when it comes to a man. Men are basically in our society raised to be the pursuer, raised to be the provider. So if you have the imbalanced situation where the woman is financially solely supporting that man, it starts to formulate this sense of resentment in the man. This is just so sad that this woman was doing everything on her own, and this monkey-lipped man sitting here reaping all the benefits, becoming so cold financially dependent on her. Not emotionally. He could care less. He could care less about this woman emotionally. He was financially dependent on her. When he got out of jail, did he have kids? Girl, that's a good question. I don't think he did. No, because he was kind of like a stepdad to her 16-year-old daughter. He was the stepdad. He was really like involved with the daughter, and was really putting on this image like he cared about the daughter when he could care less about that girl, y'all. Did not care one diddly squat for that 16-year-old girl. Okay. But anyway, this man here, you could see he did not care about her. She was literally his meal ticket when he got out of jail. He had lavish life, just buying him steaks, y'all, taking him to these really extravagant trips, giving him $10,000, buying him all these expensive rings and clothes, and he was living his best life. So when she was ready to let him go, because she started to see, no, this is not it for me. He's being abusive to me. I can't do this anymore. When she finally started to see her worth and realized she did not need this broke man who was merely just he was merely a liability in her life. She started to see that for what it was. And by then, he was already ready to take her out of this world, because it's like, if you're not going to be with me and financially support me, then you ain't going to be here. That was his perception. Look at him, just smiling away. This little monkey lip man here, smiling away, reaping the benefits, eating this nice gourmet meal that she paid for out of her pocket. What does he have not to smile about? That was not proper grammar, but look at him. He is getting all the financial benefits and not having to do anything at all to contribute to this relationship. How can you possibly think this man had any ounce of feelings for her when he has not sacrificed nothing for this woman? This is a one-sided relationship. He didn't do one thing for this girl, but merely give her fake promises. That's all he did was his words. The only thing he contributed to his relationship was some lies from his mouth. That was it. And a smile, and maybe some lousy bedtime, if you know what I mean. Probably really didn't even know how to perform in the bed. Who knows? Or maybe if he did know how to perform in the bed, I don't know. Shoot, who knows? Who cares whether he could perform or not perform? He could not financially perform in this relationship. So he's sitting here smiling ear to ear because he's not doing anything to contribute to this relationship. It's a shame. How do you think she really felt inside looking at that ring every day that she paid for on her finger? Like, there's something that happens to a woman when a man, when they get married and he buys her that ring. I know a ring sounds like people are like, well, that's so materialistic. No, it's symbolic. It's symbolic of a man's sacrifice for a woman initially. I know it sounds so like the minimalist people like a ring, whatever. No, but just the fact that he gave his hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears, the money that he worked hard, slaved over on whatever job he was doing. Maybe had to deal with, complications on the job sometime, or maybe had to work overtime. Maybe had to risk sacrificing his sleep sometimes to save up that money for that ring. When he puts that ring on her finger, it symbolizes the very beginning of his sacrifice for that woman, which starts to develop love for her. But he could not do that for this young lady because he didn't even contribute nothing to this woman but some lies. Smiling ear to ear in this picture when all he was doing was using this woman up. I mean, she may have been smiling on these social media pictures, but I can only think of how she felt. oh, this is some other irrelevant pictures. I can only think of how this woman felt inside, knowing that she didn't really have a man, period, that really was having her back. Like, imagine you got some man in your life that has not benefiting you at all. It's like you just raising another child. This is her 16-year-old daughter. You have your beautiful 16-year-old daughter here, but now you got a whole overgrown son that you got to raise too. An overgrown man you got to financially support that is not doing anything for you. What is the point of being in that relationship? Like, seriously. Seriously. Okay? Just beautiful. Could have had any man she wanted, but I'm telling you, we get so caught up with the man's false promises and their fake lies.
What's the dream? What's the dream? What's his dream? I praise my life. That stay unto you. That stay unto you. In the name of the God Father. Of the God Father. And the Son Jesus Christ. And the Son Jesus Christ. The power of the Holy Ghost. The power of the Holy Ghost.
This man, all he had to do was show up to the wedding. Can you believe this? Looking at on the outside, all he had to do was walk into that wedding and everything was ready for him. Do you think he really meant the words he was saying when he said those vows? Yeah, that is Monkey Lip. That's his nickname. Chi-Chi, you're a mess. Right, Laura, he should be a center. Do you think he really meant the words he said when he did those vows right there? No. How could you really mean those words when you did not give any sacrifice whatsoever to this woman? Ladies, if a man cannot give you any form of sacrifice, meaning financially, emotionally, he's not giving anything to you, then you need to walk away. Don't let your heart cloud your judgment. Because a lot of men too, and this is not a man bashing video, so please, I hope the men don't get mad at me, guys. Sorry, I love me some men. We support the men, but this is just the reason why we're talking about men, because this is the story for today. So don't be getting mad at me, y'all. I love all y'all men. But anyway, I'm talking about certain types of men right now. Not all men. But when certain types of men, they will find women and seek a woman who will take care of them, who will support them. And they don't want to assume the role as the provider in the household. They want the woman to do basically everything for you. Those type of men are not capable of loving you, because if they cannot sacrifice for you financially, they're not capable of loving you. Because men usually formulate love through how they invest in a woman. You know, their money, their status in life, that's valuable in life. I mean, when men sit down and they talk about their life when they're talking to other men, they're talking about how much money they made, how successful they are financially, what women they can get, what kind of type of woman they get. They look at the assets and the value they present to the society financially and status wise. So if they can't contribute and give some of that sacrifice financially to the woman they're with, they're not going to be able to formulate an emotion for that woman. So this man merely showed up to this marriage with no sacrifice at all. He was not able to formulate any love for this woman, period. He just saw her as a bank account. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you are right, Chi-Chi. Good men wouldn't get mad at this video anyway. That's true. Yeah, because they already know they belong. Okay, never mind. Thank you, Chi-Chi. I just had to get that disclaimer because, sometimes men would be in the chat talking about, well, women be acting up too. We all know that, guys. This is not a man bashing video. It's not. I don't have anything against men or anything. I'm just using this to talk about this particular type of man. This is a type of man who goes out looking and seeking the woman who can basically be his mother. Because maybe he was raised in a household where his mother wasn't around or was abusive or neglectful. So when he grows up, he doesn't know how to be a man. So he's just seeking another mom in the woman he's with, meaning she supports him financially in every aspect, from cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids, and financially paying the rent for the house. Like he's not doing anything but just sitting at home watching TV, playing video games all day. She's doing everything. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're in that type of relationship, what's the point of being in a relationship? I'd rather be single if I gotta have a whole overgrown son. Come on now. No, boo-boo. No.
Hallelujah.
Now, here's the sad part about this, y'all.
Desay.
What's so sad about this is all those people in that room who were celebrating this couple should be ashamed of themselves. They really should. Now, they all knew good and well this man right here that she was marrying was no good. I'm telling you, they knew. This man just got out of prison for 5 years, serving a 5-year prison sentence. I'm telling you, the family members, the friends, everybody knew this man was no good. So everybody in here with them little bouquets and dressed up with the suits and singing the songs, every last one of them should be ashamed of themselves because they should have told this young lady he was not it. Now, even if they did tell him, y'all, Desay wasn't even going to listen, but they told her, gave her some type of wisdom before she walked out of the aisle instead of smiling her face. At least they would at least have told her, hey, sis, you need to take a chill pill. Give him a few years to see how he acts. See if he can financially support you and meet you equally. If he can't, girl, you need to let him go. He is not it, honey. So, I mean, that's what also disturbing is how these people are sitting there smiling in this woman's face. That's not, sometimes people who smile in your face aren't really your friends, I'm saying, because they're not willing to sit you down and tell you the straight truth.
Smitten by Michael.
My baby, I love him so much.
She didn't think she deserved him or was worthy of him because he was so handsome.
And that's true, guys. She really didn't think she was beautiful enough to have him, y'all. Let's read her post that she put here. She said, screaming, happy birthday to my husband, Measy. That's his nickname, Money Measy. They should have called him Monkey Lip. But anyway, she said, I don't know what I did so great to end up with such a handsome gift from God like you. Can you believe she said that? Like, really, what was so great about him, though? She said she don't know what she did to end up so great to end up with such a handsome gift like you. Look at this sentence right here. So her value was in the fact that he was handsome. Not that he can financially contribute to the household, not that he was emotionally supporting her. He was meeting her halfway, emotionally supporting her, even financially helping in the household. All she focused on was because he was handsome. Ladies, we got to get out of this whole handsome or men gorgeous mindset. External looks cannot bring home the bacon. External looks cannot be supportive of you when you're in your downtime. External looks cannot be your backbone in the hard times. External looks cannot love you unconditionally. She valued this man because of his looks, not because what he could contribute to her as the whole package of being a man in her life. That to me was the red flag right there. This sentence right here. Handsome gift. She didn't say nothing about how he's helped paying the bills in the house, how he's being supportive to her, how he's being her team player in her businesses, helping, raise more money in her businesses. None of that. It's just because he's handsome, y'all. And he wasn't really handsome. I agree with Yesum and Laura. I don't think he's handsome either. I really don't know what she saw in this man, but she thought he was handsome. And she called him a gift. How is he a gift when he's done nothing for her but sell her a dream? That's what a lot of these individuals will do. They will sell you a dream. They will sell you a fantasy. They will tell you that they're going to spend the rest of their life with you, that they're going to make you the happiest woman on earth. that they're going to buy you this elaborate, big, Lamborghini, nice Lamborghini, and a big house and mansion. They're going to tell you all these lies. And so what happens is the woman starts to hold on to these lies, hoping and dreaming and praying that one day they'll come true, when in reality, the man never intended to ever manifest those lies he said in the first place. He just sold her a fantasy. She called this man a handsome gift, when in reality, she deep down inside, I really think Desay knew good and well this man was not a gift in her life. Because really, what was he doing for her? She funded that entire wedding. She's paying the bills every day. She's bringing home the bacon. He's not doing anything. Imagine she's doing everything on her own, from paying the car notes, paying the rent, taking care of her kid, her daughter, feeding her daughters, feeding and clothing his broke self. Because he wasn't feeding her. We know that much. Then she says, I love you like I never, ever loved somebody. That love word, we got to really figure out what love is, because you may have loved him, but he did not love you. And his actions showed it. She said, I experienced things that I've never even imagined like life would bring me. Okay, what did you experience? What has he done? Like, that's the questions I have in this post here. What did she experience? Everything that she experienced is what she gave herself. The things that she experienced, she paid for. She paid for those trips. She paid for the weddings. She paid for, the lavish cars and food and the steaks that they were eating. So everything that she experienced, she gave it to herself. She said, I've experienced things that I've never imagined life would bring me. No, you did that for yourself, honey. The hard work she put into getting, building her tax business, the hard work she put into her fashion clothing line, she gave her own self the experience, but she equated it with this man who didn't do a dang thing but show up. All he did was show up, y'all. And she's saying that he did all these things for her. She said, every day I look forward to forever. No relationship is perfect. Now, this is where she's admitting right here, no relationship perfect. Girl, he was putting that girl through hell behind closed doors. But on social media, she'll make it appear as though, it's just, we have our normal little spits and spats. But in reality, y'all, he was putting that girl through hell. She said, but you are perfect to me and for me. Your love makes me want to love you better. Guys, looking at these videos, I don't see where this man loved this girl at all. I'm so sorry. I couldn't see it in the videos. I could not see it. She said, your thought process elevates my thinking. You are my everything. Thank you for making me your wife. This is what disturbs me. Thank you for making me your wife. How did he make her his wife? She should flip that around. Thank you for allowing me to make you my husband. Because she facilitated the entire thing. She was pursuing him. She bought the ring for him. She bought her own ring. She paid for everything. So in reality, he never made her his wife. He just showed up and consented to the marriage because she made him her husband. That's the sad part we have to see. And I'm not criticizing this lady at all. I'm just using this for us to look at this from a review perspective. So hopefully some young lady out there, if they do watch this video, they will see the signs here and hopefully make the choices that will save their own life. She said, I'm truly am the luckiest woman in the world. Happy birthday, my love. That is so sad. In reality, she was the luckiest woman in the world, but not because of him. It's because of her own hard work and success that she did for her life. And she really didn't need him. She would have had all these sentences would have been relevant just to her own hard work alone. And it had absolutely nothing to do with this man at all. Because everything that she did, all this stuff she's talking about, all these experiences she had was because of her own hard work and all the entrepreneurship success she had. This man didn't do a dang thing but show up and provide his little dangling. Who know that dangling probably didn't do nothing for her at all, period. I'm just saying. That was probably the only thing she experienced, probably in the bedroom. Because she's saying she's experienced things she never experienced in her life. Maybe he put it down in the bedroom. That's all I could think of because he didn't do anything else for this girl, y'all. Yeah, Laura, she did have low self-esteem. Look what she said here, that highlight part where she said, I don't know what I would have done to end up with such a handsome man. So she didn't feel worthy of a handsome man. She felt like she wasn't attractive, which she is, but in her mind, she felt that about herself. So let's continue on, y'all.
And she was ugly. So she did everything in her power.
Now let's take a look at what she said here. Look what she wrote about herself. I want someone to be obsessed with my ugly ass. Who calls themselves ugly ass? That's a person who doesn't love themselves. So when you don't love yourself and you're referring to yourself as an ugly ass, like in public, you're humiliating your own self. That is a person who can fall prey to an abusive, narcissistic user like this man. It is just so, when I saw this, my whole heart just dropped to know that she thinks of herself as ugly ass. Like, she was showering this man with love, money, and all these things because it's like as if she felt she had to in order to keep him around, because she felt so afraid if she didn't give him money, if she didn't support him financially, or if she didn't shower him with all these compliments, he would leave her. So it was like this form of desperation to hang on to him by showering him with all this money and gifts and words online and just worshiping him as if he was her God, because she felt if she did it, he was going to leave her because she didn't feel pretty enough. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a post like this. Maybe y'all have, where a woman's calling her own self online ugly ass. That is so sad. I don't know who lied to this woman, told her she was not attractive, but she is. Somebody must have told her that she wasn't attractive. It's so sad. Like Laura said, she said maybe her daughter's father really dogged her. Right. Maybe she had her prior relationship. She was so verbally abused that she began to believe the lies and began to think of herself lower. Maybe the baby's father was telling her she would never find anyone else, or she wasn't pretty enough, and he had to settle for her, and she's lucky that he's even with her ugly ass. And so what did she start thinking? She started to accept the words that someone spoke into her life and began to adopt those words as the reality. And so the next time she started looking for another man, she lowered her standards. And before you know it, she had no more boundaries and was willing to do whatever she could do to keep this man, which means give all of her money, her savings, everything to make sure this man stays with her. And shower him with all these praises and compliments that he was not even worthy of and had not even earned.
Power to try and keep him happy. Screaming happy birthday to my husband Mizi. I don't know what I did so great to end up with such a handsome gift from God like you. I love you like I never loved somebody.
Now look at this, guys. This looks like a straight fairy tale. They're going horseback riding on the beach. On the beach. Guys, who did this? Who paid for this? Desay did. She's saying she's experienced so many things she never imagined. She paid for all these things. She didn't need him to do that. She could have did this stuff with her daughter, her 16-year-old daughter, and she would have experienced all the same things. She created her own fairy tale with this broke, busted, monkey lip, low-life man who didn't do anything to contribute to this at all. At all. It's so sad to see this because it's like she manufactured her own fairy tale with this broke, busted, disgusted demon. Seriously.
I've experienced things that I never even imagined life would bring me, and every day I look forward to forever. No relationship is perfect, but you are perfect to me and for me. Your love makes me want to love you better. Your thought process elevates my thinking. You are my everything. Thank you for making me your wife.
Did you guys see that? That's so sad, guys. She took him to Jamaica. This is in Jamaica where they're going horseback riding on the beach and everything. She took this man, paid for a Jamaica trip. That is just so sad.
Years.
My son, to have my son, and then 5 years later, I'm having another one. We're gonna get remarried again.
But Desay did not know the real Michael. Michael had a very...
Did you hear her say, my son, my son? Well, she might as well call this monkey look man her son, because that's not her man. I equate a man with somebody who is equally contributing to the relationship. He's just sitting there showing up. She didn't really know who this man was.
troubled childhood. He did not have a stable, secure home and had to take care of himself, as he puts it. And he still does not have a great relationship with his dad. Hef my daddy, always hating saying ho shit. And I've been taking care of myself since I was 11 years of age. And he continued. We can only imagine
Look what he says here. Look the key words here that shows he's a narcissist. I have been taking care of myself since I was 11 years old of age. This is a man who had to feed and care for himself as a child. He had to look out for himself. He had to feed, clothe, and bathe and take care of himself. He didn't have a parent out there looking for him. So his whole life was focused on looking out for himself. So when he was conditioned to be that way when he grew up. When he grew up, he kept doing that. It was survival mode, always looking out for himself. So he did not know how to give that love to anyone else because he was conditioned as a child to always look out for himself. Survival mode his whole life. Talking about N-word. I'ma stand on anything I say. Hating a N-word. F any family member that I don't like. This man, Miracle Measy, whatever his busted name was, didn't love anyone but himself. Because no one was there for him growing up. So he thought that he could not depend on anyone. So how can that man possibly care for anyone else? He doesn't even know how to.
through being in the streets trying to hustle and survive, but the streets and the home environment in which he grew up made him who he is, a covert narcissist. Since the day Desay met Michael, everything she did seems to revolve around him.
Oh, you want to play this one? Okay, baby. My baby want to play this one. Yeah, my live me through this. I'm going to leave this up. Okay.
Sorry, guys, that was like a copyright, so I had to take that off.
Mommy-daughter hangouts. She did everything for her husband, who was comfortable being dependent on her. She even got herself a house to get her daughter out the hood, as she puts it. But she also got it weeks before Michael was due to go home from prison to ensure he would be comfortable as much as possible.
Look at this, y'all. She bought a house, not just for her daughter, but for this overgrown man so he could be comfortable when he got out of jail. That is such a sad situation. This woman literally was his parent. That wasn't her man. That was her son getting out of jail. Bought a whole house for this man.
Yes, I got my baby at the hood. We're not in the hood. We're really living like that. We're not in the hood. We're really living like that. Thank y'all so much. It's the kitchen area for me. Don't mind my brother in Big Mook. But I got me my new house today. Almost 1,700 square feet, three bedroom, 2 bathroom, 2-car garage, all brick home, period. Leave me alone. I'm doing other shit right now. Coming up next will be my shop, so stay tuned. I will be giving me a shop next. Yes, Brittany Cooks, I got to let y'all know when the barbecue, because y'all know I love to cook and I love family gatherings. So it's lit. It's lit. Me and my room right here. My little girl room will be over there, and it's another room. No, that's going to make up that to be knit room.
See, she already planned it. She said, me and my N-word room, we're going to be right here. Like, really, she didn't even need this dude. Like, what was he really there for? It's like he was just, like, there reaping the benefits. It's like, we have to do better, y'all. We have to do better. We have to do better. We have to start thinking, really, what is this person doing for my life as well? What benefit do I get out of having this person in my life? Because really, he didn't give her a benefit. She over here saying this is their room and everything. But really, what is he doing? Is he going to pay any of these bills in this house? No.
Yes, jacuzzi tub for me and my nigga. Period. His and hers sink. Period. Y'all just don't know how happy I am right now. Like, oh my God. Like, y'all, this shit can't be real. Like, open that up, Big Mook. Because you know we lighting the fireplace. Yes. Thank everybody so much. Some of y'all is really actually true. Everybody really, some of y'all really actually true happy for me. Some people not, but
what makes it sad is everybody in the chat.
sis, I can't wait till you come over.
Y'all,
you know we having a housewarming and stuff.
What makes it so sad is everybody in the chat was over here knowing inside they were like making fun of her. They were like, this girl is straight crazy. She over here buying this house, talking about this gonna be her man's, his and her. Like, what is he doing for her? People were sitting here watching this woman's demise, and nobody stepped in to give this woman any type of guidance or wisdom whatsoever. That's what makes it sad, is they were sitting there watching it the whole time on social media, and nobody jumped in to say anything to this woman.
I'm so excited. Look at my brother, y'all. It's the kitchen for me because I love cooking. My dining room area. Can't wait till I furnish my everything new. Not just past, but new everything. I'm so excited. Y'all just don't know, right, brother? We finna load up groceries in here. Talk. Let me let the garage to him. Y'all see that Challenger parked out there, in my driveway. 2-car garage. Leave me alone. Yes. Look at me, look what I'm trying to show half of the house.
She was doing better all by herself. Did not need that man whatsoever. Look at all this.
You already know, sis. Room on deck. Stop playing.
Did not need him one bit.
Stop playing, on deck, sis. I'm really living like that.
She should have left him there at his parents' house when she stopped by them on her way from picking him up from prison. But instead, she took him home and married him. She picked him up from prison on May 17, 2021. And within 7 days, on May 24, 2021, they were married at the courthouse. She married him because she paid for the rings. And later on September 11, 2022, she threw them a huge wedding he described as luxury wedding, and she paid for everything, including the clothes and shoes he wore to the wedding. And she had been clothing, feeding, housing, wining, dining, vacationing, and romancing him since then. He wanted all her attention, and for her to always highlight.
This is shameful. Look at this man. All this lavish trips, wine and dining. This man was living his best life, and he was not contributing a dang thing to this girl. Look at all this stuff he got her living out. All these amazing trips. I would have been the man in that relationship. Okay, all them benefits with no financial
person because he acted very nice around them.
Like I done been around him. He never gave me them kind of signs that he would do that to my sister. Like he never did.
He caught us off guard because he was so quiet. He was so laid back. Like he was sweet in front of us, but behind closed doors, I just feel like he was a monster.
Getting all your daily nutrients is hard work, but nutrition.
Those individuals speaking was her siblings. They said he would always pretend to be so nice in front of her and in front of the family and everything. But in reality, he was really a snake. Be wary of those people that are quiet too. He was very quiet around the family. When you see somebody that's quiet, you just be very leery of a quiet person, because those people sometimes have a dark side.
By being all over him, smiling at times, hugging him and saying how much she loved him. And she had to laud him on her social platforms because it mattered to him that people think he's a great person worthy of.
Yeah, she had to put all these praises up about him. Look at this comment she put. Happy Valentine's Day to the world's greatest husband. Like, none of this stuff was real, guys. Like, there's no evidence that I have found where it showed he was the world's greatest husband. He didn't do not a thing for this girl, but maybe turn up in the bedroom, which I don't even know I don't have no idea. We'll never know that part of it. But I mean, seriously, like, what makes him the world's greatest husband? Just being there? Like, it's sad. She said, today is just another day of me receiving gifts. What gifts? This man was broke. He couldn't give her anything. The gifts that you were receiving was from her own money. She paid for her own gifts. That's what I'm saying. These you got to be careful about social media, because some people will say things that's not even the truth. Receiving gifts that she paid for. This man was broke. Didn't have a dime. It's Valentine's Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever holiday is that every day for me. That is so sad, man, because I know she really didn't feel these words. She must have felt really empty inside knowing that she was lying on social media like this. Deep down inside, she felt empty in that relationship. Deep down. 365 days, he makes me feel like a queen. I doubt it, man. Anything I want and need, he gonna make sure I got it. Always forehead kisses. Every day, all day, he tells me how much he loves me. How you make my body and soul feel every day. Okay, that's where it was, y'all. He was laying it out. I knew it. He was laying it thick in the bed, because these type of dudes, they know how to lay it on you in the bed room to get a woman sprung. But that's really all they could do. That's really it. No, she already just told us right here that he was putting it down in the bed right here. How he make my body and soul feel. Okay, you just told us, Desay. He must have been laying it in there in the bedroom. But that's it. Is it really worth it though? The misery, the pain, you financially broke because you got to pay for take care of this man and your kids, and you don't got no man in the house. And forgive my grammar, I'm just being funny right now, guys. You don't have any type of support from this man. Like, it's just like, come on. Like, it's so devastating. Even when I get on his nerve, he sounds like he was over here gaslighting her. Maybe she would ask him for love or something, and he would tell her how she's getting on his nerves, how she's too emotional, how she's this and that. So she starts to blame herself. These men will start to gaslight a woman to make her think like she's the problem, when in reality, he knows he's a hot mess. Okay. She said, even when she said, heads down, the best man any woman can ask for. Are you serious? No way. I would never ask for a man like him. I'd rather be by myself. I could do bad all by myself than to be with a broke, busted liability like he is. No, honey, I would never ask for a man like that. I'm sorry. I respectfully disagree with that sentence. She said, not a day go by I don't thank God for you. Oh, no. I don't think she ever thanked God for this man. I really don't. I think what she was doing when she was talking to God was like, God, please don't let him leave me. Please, lead me and tell me whatever I have to do to keep this man. That's probably the prayer that she was saying, because she didn't want to be alone. And she wanted to create this image online that he was this amazing man, because she would get abused behind closed doors. And if she'd give him these public compliments, she was hoping that it would calm down the abuse in the household. I think he was secretly abusing this woman, maybe even started out emotionally doing it, then it eventually got physical. And she wasn't sharing it with her family. People didn't really know what was going on. But she knew, because the last day of her life, she even told her sister that she felt she was going to die that day. She told her sister that, guys. Can you believe that? She told her sister the day she died that she felt she was going to die. Yeah. That's how sad it is. This woman was being abused behind closed doors and was creating this image online that he was perfect for her, because she was trying and hoping and praying that he wouldn't beat her, maybe, or be abusive to her anymore. And she was trying to get back to that time in prison when he was love bombing the heck out of her. And she thought if she did all these different things, paying for these lavish, expensive fairy tale trips, and buying him expensive rings and giving him $10,000 for his birthday, and love bombing him as well on social media and praising him. She thought that maybe that would get her back to the times when he was love bombing her. It was so sweet to her in that prison cell when he didn't have a pot to barely even piss in. Excuse my language.
Of admiration. He never thinks of her and her needs, and he knew he was hurting her terribly. But in true narcissistic fashion, he continued on, expecting her to continue enduring his abuse, as he expressed in this Facebook post. And I'll just read the 2 lines that sums it all up.
I'm going to read the whole lines, okay? This is what his fake self said, y'all. Bae, I know I am taking you through some shit. Right there. Right there, guys. He is admitting it. Nobody pays attention to these posts when this woman was alive. He literally admitted that he was putting this woman through hell. These smiling posts look so rainbow and dandy, but behind closed doors, he was draining this woman dry emotionally and was not giving any type of happiness to her at all. Look at him. He admits it. I know I am taking you through some shit, but you remain to stick to me like a gorilla glue. You know why? Because she's trauma bonded to him, because he love bombed her. He knew what he was doing from the beginning. These type of abusive men know what they do. They know women, and they know women are very vulnerable, and we are so emotional. And so men that have studied the emotional vulnerability of a woman will use that and exploit a woman. They will start working on the woman's emotions, start by giving her all these compliments. They know that women love attention. They love compliments. They love praises and stuff like that. Good morning, beautiful, all that stuff. Women love that type of stuff, compliments and everything. So he used that to really, really hone in on her emotions, because he knew that then once he did that, he would get her so attached to him, then he can take off the mask and really show who he really is. So he's admitting, I know I'm taking you through hell, but you stick with me. That's what they want. They want these type of women who will stick and stay through the abuse. He trained this woman throughout the years in prison to get her so emotionally bound to him that he can then remove his mask and abuse the heck out of this woman. And she would just stick and stay like Gorilla Glue, like he said here. And I appreciate you for that and love you even more. Ladies, you do not get a trophy for sticking and staying with an abusive man. It is not. And this is what he's doing here. He's giving her congratulations for sticking it out through the hell and high storm. No, that doesn't make you a good woman by sticking and staying with a man who's abusing you. That is not it. That is called brainwashing, love, trauma bonding, and abuse. For him to give her a golden medal for sticking it out and staying with him for abuse is not it. No. That is, again, gaslighting and manipulation, what he's doing. Then he goes again to admit, even though things get muddy, our future promised. So this is what, again, guys, they do this future faking stuff. Oh, baby, even though I'm abusing you now, things are going to get better in the future. Just keep hanging in. Things will get better. So then the woman starts to just hold on to this fake promise that one day he's going to eventually act right. One day he's going to eventually get back to that day he was so sweet and kind and loving and love bombing the heck out of her through those beginning years in prison when he was building this trauma bond with this woman and getting her so emotionally hooked on him like he was some drugs, basically. Basically, he was her drug. He was her drug. She was addicted to him by then. He says, so keep overlooking the obstacles and focus on our true love. No, we got to stop doing that in 2024, y'all. We're not going to overlook obstacles. We're not going to overlook red flags. We're not going to overlook that honey. No, that's not going to happen anymore. After this story, we're going to look at the red flags for what they are, and we're going to pack the bags and get on out and live and vibe throughout our life and live our best life.
Bae, I know I'm taking through some shit, but keep overlooking the obstacles. This is real narcissistic behavior, not I'll work at doing better. Just keep overlooking the obstacles, as he calls it.
Right. He doesn't admit to not saying he's ever going to do better, do right by her. He's just going to keep acting a fool.
She seemed confident, but she was only confident in her ability to earn and provide.
Right. She seemed like she was so happy in these videos, but really she wasn't. She was funding that whole relationship. And she felt by paying him. And look, he was pretending to be this wonderful stepdad to her daughter, her 16-year-old daughter, endangering the daughter as well with this abusive ex-convict in the household. And he didn't give a care about this girl, the 16-year-old girl. He just pretended. That's the sad part about it. You got the matching pajamas. Guess who paid for them pajamas on that broke man's back? She bought that for him. Broke. That's her overgrown son. This is a single parent woman, and this is her overgrown monkey lip son and her beautiful 16-year-old daughter. This is the picture you see here. This is not her equal partner. This man has done nothing to show himself to be her man. I mean, the clothes on his back, she paid for it. That hair braid hairstyle, she paid for it. The ring on his hand, she paid for it. The roof on his over his head, she paid for it. The car he's driving, she paid for it. The drawers that he wearing, she paid for it. The toothpaste that he brushed his his teeth got white teeth. The tooth that she brushed his teeth, the toothbrush he brushed with, she paid for that toothbrush. The food he eating, she paid for it. The marijuana he be smoking, she paid for that. The drugs he be using, she paid for it. Y'all get the point. Y'all get the point. This story get me in my feelings, y'all. Pray for me.
Wishing him a happy stepfather's day, which I care less about.
Stay and all that. Hopefully y'all can change that.
You
Come on.
believe
I
it?
hope you like it, okay? Come on.
He did not earn that title, Happy Father's Day. What kind of father was he? What did he do for that girl?
Got Mike.
What did he do during this Happy Father's Day?
I said, babe, let's go read the bed.
And what I find very disturbing about this Happy Father's Day celebration, don't you think it's a little bit over the top? I mean, she put like little blue rose petals all throughout the house and all these little gifts that he gets, doing a little treasure hunt for all these gifts. Don't you think this is a little bit over the top for a Father's Day, especially when he really didn't earn any of this? He wasn't a father to this girl. What did he do really for her? He was just in the house. He was just a mere presence that stood there and posed in photos and smiled. But he didn't earn any of this. She gave him way too much a reward with no form of behavior to earn it. Hi, isn't she lovely? Hey, love, shalom.
Okay, what you say?
Look at how he's trying to delight himself with her while on Facebook Live, not thinking about her, the person, for a minute. Just what he wants when he wants, and she had to stop him. He's so into himself, he's unaware of everyone else. She lauded him on social media even while he was in prison, showing him she was still down for him and reassuring him he was her lifetime partner.
Yeah, look at this right here, this post. Happy birthday to my 1 in a million, my lover, my friend, my lifetime partner, my old man. I stayed down, so he let label me the realist. Be on the lookout for the party date. Like, just held this man down all throughout the prison years. And this man didn't give a diddly squat for this beautiful young lady at all. And she didn't love herself either, though. That's the saddest part about it. We have to love ourselves first, y'all, before we can even start to look for someone to love. Because if you don't love yourself, you will settle for anything that is not deserving of you.
On Valentine's Day, she lauded him as the world's greatest husband and the best man any woman could ask for. She took him on vacation to Jamaica for his birthday. And again, she lauded him.
Oh,
And
hell
she gave
no.
him $10,000 cash.
Hell to the no.
You got the girl. And you leave, baby? We turn up. We just ate breakfast.
Jamaica and $10,000?
Y'all just don't understand. I ordered this Bible. The reason I got this Bible, y'all, you think I've been reading? I told him I could read some couple scriptures of this Bible, y'all. But I ordered this Bible from Amazon. But in reality, it's like a lock safe box.
That she put on his birthday. This is way too over the top. Happy birthday to my husband. Here go $10,000 in sum. And she gave him new ice. So not only did she give him $10,000, she took him to Jamaica and she spent thousands of dollars on a new jewelry, new ring. Right. You know what, isn't she lovely? That is a good way to think about it. It is idolatry. That is a good way to think about it, girl. I did not even think about it that way. This is idolatry. She's literally worshiping this man. This man is her God. And I didn't even think of that. Good point. I mean, she's over here buying, guys, she spent thousands of dollars on a new ring for this man. $10,000 on top of that, plus a Jamaica trip. That's probably about 15 grand, or if not more, probably 20 grand she spent on this man in total. If we want to really look at the numbers here. And I don't count the house that she paid for, the bills she pays every month, the car she paid for, the horseback riding this man has gone on, all these extravagant gifts. What did you think he turned into? This man this was a dependent. He was 100% codependent on this woman. And he thought if he abused her, that would manipulate her and make her feel so weak that she would never leave him. But it did quite the opposite with these men. They think if they abuse the woman psychologically, first they love bomb you. Then they start dismantling you and abusing you. Then they start love bombing you again. It becomes this never ending cycle. But eventually the victim will start to break out of that abuse. And the men think that, oh, if I abuse, and I love bomb, then she'll never leave me. But quite the opposite happens. So when the woman decides to break free, these men lose their natural mind. And they say, if I cannot have you, no one else will.
He don't know that what's in there. So y'all had I couldn't put the whole 10,000 in there plus the ring. So I don't know how much thousands I got in there with the ring. I have the rest of the thousands in my purse. So here come easy. He don't know. And his last birthday present is going to be on the 7th of April the 7th, which is his last birthday present. I'm be so excited. So,
ooh, y'all know I know people don't gonna say something to me. Don't judge me right here. But this man was an Aries too. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I know some of y'all don't believe in zodiacs, but if zodiacs had some form of reality to it, Aries have severe anger issues. And those people under that sign have been known to be violent when they're angry. Sometimes that domestic violence can turn deadly. I've seen of another man, he brutally unalived his girlfriend or wife. Sorry, it was his wife. The girl, she was a celebrity porn star, guys. Forgive me. She was a porn star. I don't know if her name was Dorothy. What's that girl's name? She was working with Hefner and all those people. And oh my God, she wanted to leave her husband who was like years older than her. And guys, don't you know, he brutally murdered her. Oh my God, like she went to go to his house to go pick up something. He locked her in the house. He shot her in the head and he basically violated her body, guys. He had relations with her deceased body. And he was an Aries. Aries men are, sorry, y'all, I know I'm getting zodiac. Some of y'all religious like myself. Y'all gonna be like, girl, why are you talking about zodiac? But I'm telling you, it has some truth to it. I'm just saying, like, I just know people who are under the Aries sign can be very violent and have anger issues. That is concerning too. And I know a lot of Aries men that be moochers too. They always broke and they always trying to, sorry, somebody gonna be mad at me who's an Aries. I'm sorry if you're an Aries. Don't get mad for me. Don't come for me. But I be knowing sometimes these Aries, they will look for someone like this girl who has status. Yeah, it's Dorothy Stratton. Thank you. Yes, and that's why I love my opinionators. Thank you, y'all. Anyway, yeah, Dorothy Stratton, that was her name. Y'all know he was an Aries. Yes, that guy was an Aries. If y'all know that, go look at that story. That man has severe anger issues. He was scary as heck. But a lot of those people that are under that sign, the men, they will find women and they're interested in the woman, not really how she looks, but her status. Like, what can she do for them financially? Some of them will be moochers and they'll live off you. They have anger issues and become violent. That is some of the patterns and tendencies I've seen with those people. But again, just a disclaimer, zodiacs are not always true. I'm just being real with some of the stuff I've seen.
2021 and joined worried ask.
Oh Lord, sorry guys.
Asking him where they were going.
Okay, let's see.
Was never going to change, and it became
I took his phone, y'all, because he tried to get on Facebook a while ago. I didn't want him to be looking at my shit. Me in Jamaica, y'all, with the vibes. Literally. Hey, bread fix. Now, me don't know what up. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, huh? I'm trying to stay over there, shit. Yes, brother. That's right, B. Thank you, my baby. Yes, y'all. I think I got this service. Happy birthday, baby. Here you go.
Look, he don't even seem
I got you a Bible
interested.
for
Like,
your
look
birthday,
at
baby.
him. Did you see that? When she said happy birthday to her, he just looked away. All he was focused on, and he really could care less about her little happy birthdays. He was like, what did you give me? What you get me financially? Now, all of a sudden, when she about to hand him something, now he ready to receive whatever it is.
You gotta keep God first, baby. Read John 3:16. Open the Bible. A new ring, baby, and I got you 10,000, but I couldn't put 10,000 in there. Show everybody like your ring. Look at you.
This is so sad, man. She was buying this man, basically. This is sad.
Ooh, look at my.
So sad.
Yeah. I want to give you 10 in cash. I don't know what you're gonna do. You can do whatever.
Dang, this is heartbreaking. Like, I don't see any videos where he's doing this type of stuff for her.
And I got it in there too. The rest of it in there. You're welcome, baby. You're welcome, baby. Look. You're not an act. My husband with new ice on his hand. Don't play with his wife. Don't play with my nigga. Those real diamonds. Tell them, baby, we don't wear nothing for diamonds, baby. Real diamonds. Cost a pretty penny, but it's real diamonds, baby. I refuse.
Real diamonds,
I
y'all.
lose everything today. I know I get it back.
Did she need to do all that for him, though? Real diamonds? I mean, any of you guys married in the chat? I don't know. I mean, yes, you get your guys nice gifts, but 10 grand and an expensive real diamonds when she just married him 2022. So she already bought him that ring and she bought her own ring with diamonds. This was just last year. She bought him another diamond ring. So he got 2 different rings. He gets the diamond rings each year now. Guys, this is a lot. It's a lot. It's way too much. And this man over here, he just sitting here just reaping all these benefits. Do you think he really loved this woman? No. How could he? He didn't even give anything. He just sacrificed. What did he sacrifice for this relationship? Nothing.
Hey, just because of you. I know you so much, Meezy. Yeah, that's right. New ice for my.
Notice how she said, I love you so much, Meezy, and he didn't even say it back. I've noticed in all these different clips where she says she loves him, he never says it back. Or if she says, I love him so much, he looks down. He never ever mentions he loves her back. It's like he shuts down when she says that because he doesn't feel the same way for her. In fact, he's not even capable of feeling anything at all. The Bible talks about the in the last days, people will become lovers of themselves, and some people will go into houses with like women that don't have men in the home, and they will deceive these individuals who are vulnerable, and that's what this man did.
Look at how distracted he was. It's as if she had to constantly shower him with gifts to keep his attention on her. And hear her choice of words, she had to constantly praise him. God.
Right, let's read this right here, what she said here. I'm still speechless about my beautiful wedding yesterday. She said it correctly, y'all. My beautiful wedding, the wedding I paid for. Not this broke man. He didn't do anything. She's speechless about the wedding she funded herself. That is so sad. I know she couldn't have felt, I don't know, man. Imagine how she's feeling inside when he's not doing a dang thing for this woman. It's like you're feeling empty. She said, I already married the love of my life. And they married May 24th, 2021. That's what she's saying. I really prayed and cried out to God to send me somebody to love me for me, the real me. No, he didn't love you, girl. He loved your paycheck. And she said the real me because she didn't feel lovable. She didn't feel anyone would love her. She felt unattractive. She felt no man was going to want her because maybe the man that she was with before, her child's father, may have verbally abused her and made her think that. So she started to lower her standards for this man who claimed to love her, but really had no feelings for her but himself. She said, God sent me a king. No, God sent you a broke, busted frog. Okay, girl. My husband, so faithful to me. No, he ain't faithful. He was out there talking to other women. I doubt it. He not running around making me look stupid. Yes, he was. I'm sorry. Girl, everybody was watching this whole situation go down and they were like, she doing too much. That's the sad part about it. We put all this stuff on social media and y'all, we don't know who be sitting there watching all this. And they sitting here eating their popcorn, laughing at the post during this time that she was alive, y'all. They were laughing. That's how sad it was. Nobody tried to reach out to help this girl and give her advice. They were sitting here entertained by this woman's misery because she made it look like she was living her best life at her own expense, to be real, because he wasn't doing anything. She said, good, bad, happy, or sad. That's my husband. See right here, we got to stop with this ride or die lifestyle talking about. We going to be there through the thick and thin. Yes, when the man is equally involved and equally contributing to the relationship, but when he's just a hot mess, not willing to change and look within himself to fix the issues that he needs to fix, we not ride and dying in 2024. We getting up and packing our bags and getting going, because that's not the type of metal you want to live with. A lot of these women are being unalived left and right. Domestic violence is on the rise. I mean, every day I'm hearing about multiple women being unalived. There's so many unalives going on with women in these relationships. I literally can do a marathon of stories. I still never run out of stories. I have to literally handpick the ones I want to cover because there's just so many. So many. We can literally do a whole entire YouTube channel devoted to just domestic violence. And there's actually YouTube channels that are out there that are the best, dedicated to this topic because it's so horrific in our society, in our worlds, not just in America, but in the whole entire world. Domestic violence is a huge issue. And it's scary because sometimes you never really know the people you're with. They will smile in your face. They will pretend to be someone that really loves you. And you never really get to know a person, even years later, until it's too late. She said, I cry so much because I never felt this kind of love before. It's scary because he treats me like a queen. He shows me what love really means. I married a man, not a little boy. Oh, girl, you married a little boy, honey. Everything she's saying is not even true. You married a little boy. You are taking care of this man. You are feeding, clothing, putting a roof over his head, taking him to trips. He is a little boy. Her name is Desay. Desay Stevenson. What is it? Desay Stevenson. Desay Stevenson. That's her name. And his busted name, I don't even want to say his name. His name is Michael Smith, but I call him Monkey Lip because he don't deserve to have a name. Okay.
God sent me a king. I never felt this kind of love before. He treats me like a queen. I married a man, not a little boy.
No, he treats her like a bank account. And like mommy. Not a queen. He's treating her like she is his mom. No problem, Miss Golden. No problem, love. He is not treating her like a queen. He's treating her like his financial support. Look at this.
Upon this man is the kind of love you would give to someone who is deserving.
Look what she's doing. Look at this. She's buying him clothes. Look at all these gifts she's giving this man. Look at that. Name brand shirts. He's so unappreciative. Look at all this stuff. He did not earn any of this stuff. Like all it's about. All these. Look at the shirts he got. Do you think he really deserved that? Look, Versace. Nice, expensive. Look at the pants he got. She's taking care of this kid. This kid, yeah, he's literally a kid. Look at the shoes he's getting. My God, shoot, I'd rather be this man if that all the free luxury you're getting. Shoot, I want to be a man, okay? If I just got to show up and use my little beef stick and that's all I got to do, shoot. Okay. And look what she wrote here. She said, mentally, I'm mentally at a place where I can't afford to freely give anymore. See, this is when the truth starts to come out, because the word of God says what is done in the dark will come to the light. Now in September of 2023, that image of perfection and fairy tale life is starting to be dismantled, because she's starting to be mentally wore out with this man's toxicity, his abuse, him using her. Because when we're the one that's the sole giver and we're being abused and taken from repeatedly, eventually that woman or that man is going to get tired. A person can only take so much, but eventually that patience runs dry. And this man, he's so dysfunctional. He thinks that abusing this woman is what's going to keep her locked down, because he love bombed the heck out of her at the beginning. And he keeps giving her this false promise of, you know, if you just hang in there, honey, you just hang tight while I'm beating the heck out of you. And eventually we'll get right back to where we were when I was in prison and I was giving you all those fake promises. That's basically what he keeps her, that fake future faking. But look at her right here. Now she's starting to be real. She says, I'm mentally at a place where I can't afford to freely give anymore. I told you, she, you know, all this time she was talking about how she's living a fairy tale. She wasn't really feeling that. Deep down inside, she was feeling empty. She was feeling used. She was feeling taken advantage of. She was feeling like this man was not contributing to her, but she was putting on these posts, making it look as though she was just so happy, but she wasn't. She's like, meaning if I love you, I need for you to love me back. See? I thought, what happened to the post we just read earlier when she was talking about how he just loved her and treated her like a queen? I told y'all it wasn't real. I told y'all it was not real. She's telling you right here, if I love you, I need you to love me back. So number one, he didn't love her back. She was loving him. She knew, she started to see the truth that he didn't love her. If I care about you, I need you to care about me too. He was not showing he cared about her. That woman was in that relationship all by herself, period, point blank. She said, if I sacrifice for you, I need sacrifices in return. These type of narcissist men, they don't give anything back to the relationship. They suck and drain you dry. And that is what he did to her. She was sitting here in a relationship all by herself, y'all. If I protect you, I need to be protected as well. She didn't feel safe around this man. My mental capacity won't allow me to keep pouring from an empty cup. Look at this. This is what we've been talking about for the last hour or so, that this relationship has been an empty, draining, toxic, dry relationship where she was pouring into something that was not getting anything in return. It's as if she was pouring into a cup that had a hole in it. It was draining dry as she's pouring into it. She's not reaping anything from it. No benefit whatsoever. She said, I can't afford to accept one-sided love and energy anymore. Did you see that? I can't afford to accept one-sided love and energy anymore. And we've been talking about that from the beginning of this story, that it was one-sided, that this man did not really care about this woman, that she was pouring into something and she was basically in that relationship all by herself. He was just a hollow little shell, you know, there reaping the benefits along for the ride. She said, we all deserve to be poured into as we pour into another. And sometimes we have to go through these relationships. We have to go through these relationships to learn that we can do bad all up by ourselves. You don't need to, you're not fulfilled just because you have a partner. If you want a partner, you raise your standards and your boundaries and find a person that is your equal, someone that's actually loving you mutually. It's an equal relationship, not one-sided as it's happening in this tragedy with this young lady here.
Meaning, if I love you, I need for you to love me back. If I care about you, I need for you to care about me too. If I sacrifice for you, I need sacrifices in return. If I protect you, I need to be protected as well. My mental capacity won't allow me to keep pouring from an empty cup. I can't afford to accept one-sided love and energy anymore. We all deserve to be poured into as we pour into others. By October 13, she was writing, "Y'all got to stop thinking all your blessings coming from God."
Wow, look at this, guys. She's starting to see the truth. She sat here and thought this monkey lip man was a blessing from God, and she started to see the truth that it wasn't. This was Satan himself that she was with. Satan brought this man to her because Satan listens to your words and prayers just as much as God does. And he heard her one day talking about how she wanted a man, how she felt lonely. And he brought this monkey lip demon into her life to kill, steal, and destroy. And one thing I say, listen to this woman's words, because this is fact. We have to stop thinking that all our blessings come from God, because some of it's not blessings. And we got to stop blaming God for everything that happens in our life. God gives everyone free will, and the choices that we make in our life can dictate our future. It's not always God dictating and bringing all these things in our life. It's sometimes our own choices that we make, the people that we choose to allow into our own life. God does not make human men robots. We're not robots. He gives us intelligence. He gives us decision-making capabilities. Why did you think he gave that to us? Because he wanted us to have free will to make our own decisions. That's why he put in the Bible, choose ye this day whom you will serve, because he wanted to give you free will to decide how you would like to live your life. He's not out here orchestrating everything in and out of our life. We choose some of the things in our life. And she said, the devil will bless you too. Did you see that? The devil will bless you too, but y'all not ready for that talk. She is right. Y'all, she is right. The devil will come in and bring demons to you too that looks to seek and devour and suck you dry. Then she says, sometimes you got to blame yourself because you knew better. Accountability. Right here, she's starting to realize that she did not take the time to make right decisions for herself. The rose-colored glasses that was on this young lady's eyes has started to be dismantled. And she started to sit back and look and see that this man was never going to change. She started to see that all the stuff he was saying to her was fake, future faking. It wasn't real. She started to realize that he was using her and she was not getting anything out of this, and he didn't really love her. And she started to get tired of his crap. And as she started to get tired of him, she was ready to walk away from that relationship. And this man had nothing else left in his life. So he felt in his mind, if he can't have her, then no one else will, because she's his bank account. She's the one that's going to financially provide for him. He's not going to let his financial benefits be given to some other man in his mind. Because again, all he cares about is himself. He thought if he just kept abusing her and brainwashing her, she would never leave. And that's the problem with these type of men who are dysfunctional like this. They think that if they manipulate and gaslight and love bomb you with these never-ending cycles of abuse, you'll never leave. But eventually people get tired of that mess and they're ready to go. And that's when they lose their natural mind.
In an almost reminding, self-kind way, she wrote, "Never be afraid to start over."
Right, y'all. Desay was getting fed up with him. Yeah, she passed in October. Yep, that's true. People, she was getting tired of, she started to realize I could do bad all by myself. She started saying, you know what? I don't need a man. This whole time I really wanted a man and all these things in my life. She was like, you know what? Forget it. I don't even need a man at this point. I can do this all by myself. I'm ready to just start over and be single. That was what she was starting to think. She's like, I've been single all these past few years with this man. This man don't love me. He's been using me this whole time. She started to realize the truth, basically. And she was like ready to let him go. She's like, shoot, I don't need a man. Forget this. If this is what I'm getting, forget this. I'm done. That's when she started to get the strength and the muster to let this man go.
And on October 19th, just 5 days before she was murdered, it was sounding pretty serious, like she was under cheating accusation attacks and needed to defend herself. If anybody know me or done.
And right here, so basically, Mr. Monkey Lip was cheating on this woman, right? So what happens is when men start cheating or women start cheating, they start getting a guilty conscience, and then they start accusing their spouse of cheating. So he was accusing this woman of cheating because he knew he started getting a guilty conscience because he was out here cheating and, you know, out here acting a fool. So she thought she had to just reassure him by posting this online saying, if anybody know me or been around hanging with me, they know I'm faithful as F when it comes to my marriage and my relationship. I don't chat. I don't talk to other men. I don't text other men. I don't flirt with other men. I don't even lead a man on to even think they even have a chance. I never will never have my husband out here looking like no fool, because when I'm with somebody, I'm with that one man. Why would I risk my steak for some shrimps? So again, like, she knows this man is a shrimp. The sad part is she's making this guy out to be something he's not, calling him a steak. He's not a steak. In fact, he's a little hamburger Happy Meal. That's all he really is. He's not a steak. He's not doing anything to earn that title of a steak. But she has to basically do all these posts and things like that, guys, to make him think that, you know, to give him this sense of security, because he's insecure, because he knows he's out here acting a fool. He's out here cheating on her, doing her dirty, lying, you know, talking to other women, and he's feeling more and more insecure that she's slipping away. And another thing is, she's telling him she's getting tired of his crap and she's ready to leave him. So narcissists, they start to think when a woman's about to leave them or a man's about to leave them, they automatically assume, well, she must be with another man because she's going to leave me, or he must be with another woman because he's going to leave me. But in reality, they can't face the fact that she's ready to leave because this person is abusing them and they're tired of the crap.
But being the narcissist he is, she had to constantly make him feel important and display it publicly. At this point, after marrying and being with him for over 2 years and getting to know the real Michael, Desay knew it was time. Time to rid herself of the baggage that was pulling her down and eating away at her.
Right. After being with these narcissists for so long, eventually you guys start to see the truth. You know, at first they'll do the love bombing and all these things. And so at first, the man or woman is clouded by, you know, the love bombing and the trauma bonding, and they don't realize what they're in. But eventually, y'all, even after some years or so, they start to see the truth about these people. And once those rose-colored glasses are ripped from their face and they see the reality, then they start stepping back out of that relationship. And that's when the narcissists become more and more volatile, enraged, and they can become deadly when they know they're losing their grip on the victim that they're with, if they're not ready to release that supply. Now, sometimes these narcissists are ready to just discard you and let you go because they found a better supply than you are. But in my opinion, in this story, I think Desay was the most valuable supply he has ever had in his life. Mr. Monkey Lip ever had in his life. Okay. And so he knew that if she left him, he would never, ever have a supply as great as she was to him in his life. So it became a matter of life or death for this man. And he lost his natural, complete mind when she was ready to leave. And he assumed that she was sleeping with somebody else, but it wasn't that. It was because she was ready to just let him go. She was realizing she could do better all by herself. He wasn't really doing much. He wasn't doing anything for her, but causing her stress, pain, depression, and more low self-esteem and insecurity.
Constantly giving of her huge heart and big energy and not receiving back was draining and depleting her. So she decided that love was not enough. One-sided love was not sustainable, and she had to let go for herself, her beautiful daughter, and her loving mom. She had told him a couple times before she...
Right, guys. And what makes it sad is her mom was codependent on her to take care of her. She cared for her mom, her disabled mom, and her 16-year-old daughter. So not only did her daughter suffer a loss, but her mom, who's going to take care of her mom now? That's the sad part about it. So many people lost out because this abusive, narcissistic man only cared about himself. We have to be very careful who we link up with, because a lot of people out here are lovers of themselves and they don't care about anyone else. are not the repercussions of their decisions.
She wanted a divorce, she wanted out, but he had talked her out of it. But this time, she was adamant she was done with him. He was never changing. She did not want to live that way anymore. Giving, and not receiving what she was giving in return. She was up-leveling herself financially and making changes to other areas of her life as well. And being with him was not helping.
Right, like really, she started to realize, what was he doing for her? Like, he wasn't doing anything for her. He was just sitting here along with the ride. She started realizing, you know what? Before I met this man, I was doing just fine. And he is not doing anything for me. He's not even loving me at all. So she started to realize, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and let this man go. When he was the one out here cheating, he's over here accusing her of cheating because he knows he was losing his grip on her. He's out here doing wrong, so he's out here accusing her of the very thing that he's doing. He was basically deflecting. Everything that he was doing to her, he started to put it on her and make her think that she was the bad guy. But she was not to be fooled anymore. She was starting to say, you know what, boo-boo, I'm done with you. I'm done with you, and I'm ready to move on.
Every way. So why would he want to let her go? Why would he want to let her go and be that greatness to someone else? He'd rather she be dead if he could not continue to be the beneficiary of all that she was giving. So on October 20...
So this is the part I can kind of take over and get into the details. So basically, he was losing his grip on this woman. Okay? He started to lose his mind. He started losing his grip on this woman, and he knew that it was only a matter of time. See, these narcissists, they know eventually they're going to lose their power over you, and there's nothing that they can do to get you back, basically. So when he realized that he was basically going to lose her, he lost his mind. He started to believe in his mind, if I cannot have this woman, no one else will have her. Okay? So and the sad part is, man, this is sad that she did all this stuff. What he ended up doing, you guys, is he met her at this apartment complex, and he shot this woman in the chest. And basically, she got in the car with him, was talking to him, and this is what I suspect happened. She probably was telling him she wanted a divorce and she was going to leave him. Okay, this is what I think happened. The story they're saying out in social media is that he was under the influence of some type of drug, and he was starting to accuse her of setting him up, getting him set up. You know, he was having these like hallucinations because of the drugs. But what I really think happened was she basically was telling him she was fed up with him, that it was over. And so he took her on a ride, and he was thinking he was going to convince her this one last time. He's like, okay, if she doesn't say she's going to take me back, I'm going to kill her. So he had the gun in the car while he's talking to her, trying to convince her, in my opinion, again, I don't know what really happened, but I'm speculating, to stay with him. And she'd probably say, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this relationship. I can do better all by myself. You know, I have not, been happy for a long time, and I'm just ready to be done. And he got mad and he shot her in the chest and then just threw her body out in the field, left her body gone, just left her body on the field and then took off. So after that, he was locked up again. That's where he loves to be, y'all. He loved jail anyway. He had nothing to lose. He wasn't afraid of going back to jail. You think he was afraid of going back to jail? That's his home. Outside of jail, he is a lowlife. So he was dependent on this woman to take care of him, which was now no longer going to take care of him. So he didn't have nowhere else to go. So shooting and unaliving her was really not a big thing for him, because he already knew he was going to have a home right back in jail. Somebody going to take care of him either way. Okay. So he remains now in jail on a $1 million bail at the local jail on account of murder. And the family, they realized something was wrong on Tuesday night when the slain woman's 16-year-old daughter called to say she could not get in touch with her mom. That is so freaking sad. Imagining a 16-year-old girl can't get a hold of her mother, y'all. It was completely out of character for Stevenson, who not only had the daughter, but also served as a caregiver for her own mother, y'all, who was partially paralyzed after suffering a stroke. This is so sad all around. This is so, I mean, this man took this girl away from her mom who suffered a stroke and who's paralyzed. Who's going to take care of her mom now? It's going to put all the pressure on this 16-year-old girl to now have to grow up grow up prematurely, basically, way before she's ready to. So anyways, during this day when she disappeared, when she was unalived, they said basically that she never would leave the daughter no matter what. So they knew something was wrong. They said she never leaves my mama no matter what. So she would never just leave the mom. Everybody was codependent on this young lady. As to her sister's relationship with Monkey Lip, let's call him Monkey Lip. He doesn't deserve a name. Jamie Stevenson said it was a lot of red flags, although WFAA was unclear about the details of all those warning signs. So Jamison Stevenson and their cousin Nita looked for her tracking her car to the Pleasant Village apartments where the victim's father-in-law reportedly lives. Did you hear that? So he took her. So basically, she was about to leave him. Okay. She was about to be done with him, right? This monkey lip Negro, sorry, y'all, told her to meet him at his dad's house. The dad who said that never even cared for him or took care of him, y'all. He told her to meet her at his dad's house. She went over there to talk to him one last time. This is what narcissists will do. They'll say, hey, talk to me one last time. Just one last, give me one last discussion with you. I know you're about to leave me, baby, but just one more time. Never, ever go to talk to a man who says, when you're about to break up with him, he tells you he wants to talk to you one more time. Never do that. Because he might be planning to unalive you. And that's what his plan was. His plan was if she didn't take him back, he was going to unalive her. He had the gun ready in the car. So he had her meet her at his dad's house. Because again, notice how he had her meet her at the dad's apartments. Because this man don't have a pot to piss in. So, excuse my language, y'all. This case got me emotional. So I may not be on my normal dignity and grace type of platform. Because today is that type of day. This case put me in my feelings because this young lady did not deserve what happened to her at all. After all the love she gave to this man, to be treated like trash was unacceptable. Unacceptable. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm a little bit in my feelings about this case because this case really got to my heart. Anyway, so this man doesn't have a pot to nothing, y'all, to even boil some water in, okay? So when she was going to leave him, he had nowhere to go but to his dad's apartment complex. Notice he didn't have anywhere for her to meet him at that he owned, okay? I seen a big handprint on the driver window, Nita said, and you know, I'm a criminal justice major, so I start trying to use like different context clues. They learned from a community blog about a woman being shot to death 3 minutes away. They arrived at the scene of the crime where officers confirmed the worst, y'all. Officers reportedly tracked Monkey Lip to a home, and when he wasn't there, they found him at a nearby barbershop. He over here getting his hair cut, y'all, after unaliving her. This is why I'm telling you how selfish this man is. He didn't even care about this woman at all. At all. At all. Just so bold about it. Go to a barbershop after you take this woman out? Are you kidding me? That's cold. Detectives said that surveillance video from the apartment complex showed the couple driving into the parking lot in separate vehicles. According to an affidavit obtained by the Dallas Morning News, Stephenson stepped into Smith's vehicle, officer said. See, that's what I'm saying. Desay went to meet him one last time because he tried to convince her. After she broke up with him, he went to his dad's house because he had nowhere to go. And like I said, he don't have any pot to boil any water in, okay? So he was at his dad's house. So he told her to meet him at his dad's house to talk this one last time because he thought he was going to try to convince her. And in his head, he thought, well, if she don't take me back, the only way out is I'm about to take her out, because if I can't have her, if I can't reap the benefits of this woman financially, I'm not about to let any other man reap the financial benefits. And he already had in his mind that she was cheating on him, because in his delusional mind, these narcissists' mind, they think that if you're going to leave them, you're obviously cheating on them, because they can't really face the fact and look in the mirror, look at the man in the mirror to realize that they're the problem. That a person doesn't always have to be cheating on you to leave you. It may be just that you're the issue in the situation and she just don't want to deal with you anymore. But he couldn't see that for the truth. All he could think in his delusional mind that she's cheating on him and she's leaving him for another man. So if she don't consent to being with him, his plan was to unalive her, which is why she met him that day thinking that, she was going to, us women, we give in and our heart gets a little soft and we're like, okay, I'll talk to you one last time, but I am done with you. So she got in the car thinking that, she was going to talk to him one last time. But here's the cryptic part about this whole situation. That very day, we're going to actually look at an interview from the sister, Desay's sister, because Desay's sister said some very cryptic words that Desay told her earlier that day before she got into that car with Monkey Lip. She told her sister that she felt she was going to die that day. See, we have to listen to our intuition. The Lord tells us, and he warns us, especially as women, y'all, we have that women's intuition. And we don't listen to it, though. That's the problem. We get these warning signs, we get the red flags, and for some reason, we never trust ourselves. We have to get to a point in our life where we start trusting that inner, still, quiet voice that is warning us in these situations. And that voice was warning her before she went to meet with him that she was going to die if she went to meet him. But she ignored it and she went anyway. She put her life on the line for this man. We guys, in 2024, y'all, we got to stop with this love stuff and focus on the objective mindset, because that's what's going to keep us alive, in this society. We can't be so focused on our emotions, especially as women, because men like this who are narcissists, they know that we have that emotional, motherly component to us as women, and that's what they prey upon. These men know us women, y'all. They know we're emotional. They know the things we like. They know we like attention and we like compliments and we love bombing and the good morning texts and all them fake promises, and we love marriage and we love the thoughts of kids and living in a nice house, a picket fence with a little puppy, and they know the things that we like, guys. It's so easy for these men like this type of narcissist type of man. And this is not all men, it's just these type of men. But that's the scary part about it is she knew, guys. Her spirit told her, and she still went to meet this man, got into that car. And then they said it remained parked there for a while, and there seemed to be a disturbance inside. Look at right here. So she gets into the car, right? And that's when they're talking. And he's trying his one last time to get her to stay with him. Right. Isn't she lovely? Said it way better than I can say it. She said, we have to operate in logic and not our emotions. Exactly. In 2024, y'all, we have to start changing the way we operate as women, because we move so much with our emotions and we ignore that still quiet voice. God has given us a gift, that motherly intuition. The reason why he put that in us is because he knew that we were going to be mothers one day. And that's why he gave us that intuition. It was a gift in order to be that protector and caregiver for our children, but it also applies in other different areas of our lives. But a lot of times we allow our emotions to override that discernment inside of us. And so, like Isn't She Lovely says, is this year, y'all, we're going to have to move differently in our relationships, in our lives. We have to start operating in our logic mentality versus our emotions, and put that emotion part on the back burner. And I know it's hard. But the way you can do that is, for example, if you're in the dating stage, you're not talking to these guys every day. Maybe you go on a date and you take a few days off for yourself to gather your emotions before you communicate again with them. Because when you start, having all these all day, talking all day, all night, every day you're with this person, you don't have time to sit back and think and process the different observations you have, because you're so immersed in that relationship. But for example, if you're in a dating stage, some of y'all already married, so I don't know what to tell about y'all, but I'm talking about the ones that are starting to date or whatever. If you're in a dating stage, take time for yourself, slow it down, slow it completely down. Sometimes you got to go and go in your prayer closet, write out the good stuff you notice about the guy, write out the bad stuff you notice about the guy, really process those things instead of just so focused on the emotions. Because those emotions will get you killed. As scary as it sounds, as blunt as I am saying it on this live, the emotions will get you unalived. It's happening every single day. And it happened in the story because she felt that last inkling of empathy for this man to go and meet him at her father-in-law's house, father-in-law's apartments, to have that one last discussion with him. Because he begged and pleaded to talk to her one more time. But his whole intention was to unalive her that day. So she got into that car. He's begging and pleading for her to give him one more chance. And she was like, no, I'm done. You know, I can't do this anymore. I want a divorce. And that's when the disturbance happened. And he unalived her, y'all. He unalived her inside that car and discarded her body in a field. Now, when officers found Smith's vehicle, or the Monkey Lips car, in his driveway, they couldn't see in plain sight. They could see in plain sight that there was blood in the front seat. They reportedly wrote. So he shot her in the chest in the passenger side of his car. And didn't even care enough to clean the evidence, even though he should have done the first one. But he didn't even care. He was just, you know what? Because he wanted to get caught. That was the thing. This man did not care. He had already been in and out of prison his whole life, basically. This man is used to being in prison. So he knew that he had no other future outside of the jail without this woman. This woman was his support system. So without her, he had nothing else to live for outside of jail. So going back to jail was nothing to him. So he didn't care to even hide the evidence or clean it. You know what? He did it right there in that parking lot, so blunt and so open about it, and didn't care about getting caught because he already knew he was going to have a nice place in the jail, in the prison, where he's so used to anyway. Some of these people are so messed up in the head after being in prison for so long because so many things happen inside the prison that they're so dysfunctional when they come out. They're in that survival mode even when they come out because all of the horrific things they witness in the prison. So a lot of these people, y'all, they come out a whole different person, period, after jail as it is. So he really didn't even care to hide. He did it all in plain sight. The officer said they could see in plain sight there was blood in the front seat. That was Desay's blood. There was bullet shell casings in his driver's seat. That's evidence that the shooting happened in the car because the casings are inside the car. A lone sandal matching the one that Desay wore when she was found inside the car was there too. So we knew she was there. Investigators claim to find multiple guns inside the defendant's residence. Okay, so he had all kinds of guns in there. I bet you who bought those guns for him, she probably bought all those guns for him. So probably the same guns she bought for him, he used them to unalive her with. Because this broke man don't have any money. And you know she bought it. Not that she went out and bought it for him, but that $10,000, you remember she gave him? He probably took that $10,000, spent it on drugs and firearms. And the same money he spent it on that she gave him for his birthday, he went and used that money to buy the very firearm that unalived and ended her life. That is just a sad shame. That is such a sad shame, y'all. Right, like Isn't She Lovely says, we have to study these cases. And that's why I really wanted to cover this one and break it down so we can look at the indicators. And hopefully in 2024, we move differently and learn from them. So this tragedy leaves the Stevenson family with a heart-wrenching unanswered questions. They said, I just don't understand. The sister said, I just want to know why. Why would you take my sister like this? Why? Because this man could care less about anybody but himself. And she was going to leave him, and he had nothing else to live for with his broke, busted behind. Okay? So let's take a look at this right here, y'all. This video, this very sad video here.
And that's it, ladies. This is something I wish I had back when I just had my daughter. It has the hook and eye.
Desay Stevenson was bubbly, always the life of the party, and always loving on her family. Making sure her 16-year-old daughter had it all, serving as a caregiver for her mom who had a stroke and is now partially paralyzed. And to top it off, trying to be the perfect wife.
She did everything in her power to show him that she loved him no matter what.
But her sister Jasmine says somehow.
But the sad part, he didn't care about love. He just wanted her to be loyal to him so he could use and abuse her. This man don't care about no love. He don't even know what the word love is. He's so dysfunctional. This man grew up with mere dysfunction. All he lived was survival mode and care about himself. That's it. He didn't have any home training. So it's sad. The more she loved him, the more he hated her because he couldn't understand why she even loved him in the first place, because he didn't even feel lovable because nobody in his family even loved him. It's sad, right? Isn't she lovely, girl? You are deep. Lovely, you are deep, girl. I really like your mindset, honey, girl. I do. She said her sister doesn't understand this individual was on assignment. Yes, he was. He was certainly on an assignment from the enemy to kill, steal, and destroy. Some people are sent by the enemy to destroy and prematurely take us up out this world, y'all, as sad as it is.
That love was not enough.
It was a lot of red flags.
Red flags the family didn't catch in time. Police found Stevenson's body Wednesday morning. She'd been shot point blank in the chest. Police say her husband, Michael Smith, is to blame.
Like, I just don't understand.
That is so messed up, guys. He just used this woman up for years and then just unalived and discarded her like a piece of trash when she was no longer any use to him. That is so sick. It's so sick, and it's really scary to know there are people like that out in this world. Just use this woman up for everything that she was willing to give him. When she no longer was willing to give to him, he shot and just discarded her like a piece of trash in a field. That is just disgusting. Yeah, like Isn't She Lovely says, he was born in dysfunction and straight to toxicity. And he went and lived that out throughout his life. This man can be of no use to anyone, period, because of his mind is so jacked up. Sometimes the things that happen to us in our youth truly can do a number on us in our adulthood.
Then I just want to know why. Why would you take my sister from us? Like, why?
Family says they knew something was wrong Tuesday night when Stevenson's daughter called to say she couldn't get a hold of her mom.
She never leave my niece, no matter what. She never leave my mama, no matter what.
So she called her cousin Nita, and they started looking for her. They tracked her car to these apartments where Stevenson's father-in-law lives.
I seen a big handprint on the driver window.
Wow, guys. So the news article said that was Monkey Lip's car, but that wasn't even his car. Even the car he was driving was her dang car. This is just sad. So he was driving the car she paid for, unalived her in that car, and used the gun that he probably used the money that she gave him on his birthday to buy the very firearm that took this woman out. She basically paid for everything that ended up leading to this girl's demise. That is so sad. Imagine giving money to your killer to buy the weapon they were going to use to unalive you, and use the vehicle that you paid for to travel in to discard your body. That is very horrific. And it's sad because even though she had siblings, everybody depended on her, even her mom. That is just so tragic.
You know, I'm a criminal justice major, so I started trying to use like different content clues.
Then came a post from a community blog.
Said that it was a lady shot to death, which was like 3 minutes from where we was at.
When they got there, police confirmed the worst, and officers began searching for Smith. They tracked him to this home. Video shows SWAT outside. But Smith wasn't there. A short time later, police tracked him here to a barbershop not far from that home, where cell phone video captures officers taking him into custody.
Now look at his demeanor as he's being arrested. His position, he's stand up tall, confident, because this man has not a care in the world. He knew that once he unalived her, he was going to have a nice place to go back to where he's used to, his prison cell, which he didn't mind going back to. He didn't even bother to hide the evidence or anything because he didn't care. He was ready to go back to prison because he was like, if she's not going to take care of me, I don't have nothing else to, nobody else going to take care of me. I might as well just go back to prison. So I'll just unalive her, then go back to where I'm used to. And I'm good. I got a nice life sentence in the prison cell. I got my, food there, got my homies. I get to chill all day, work out, whatever. And I don't have to worry about no bills. This man is used to being taken care of no matter what it is, either in a jail cell or by some woman. That is just straight pitiful. Look he's just so confident. You don't see him putting up not a fight. He's not struggling with the officers. He wasn't even hiding. He went to a barbershop waiting for them to come pick him up. He's like, I might as well just get my hair cut, with the money she gave me, by the way, after I unalived her. And, I'll just wait for them to pick me up. I'll have a nice little haircut when I go back to my see my homies in prison. Like, seriously, this man is a hot mess.
Just get away, get out of the situation. I don't wish this on nobody.
Her family sending.
And another thing too, when she's saying to get out of the situation, it's not always that easy, especially when you're dealing with a narcissist, because these narcissists are not afraid to unalive you. It's very scary when you're trying to leave a narcissist. So if you're going to leave a narcissist, you do it discreetly. Do not announce it to them. Don't say a word. Just plan it privately. Don't even mention it on stuff because they probably be looking at your text messages, your emails, all that. Don't say a word. Just one day, pack your stuff and leave. Once you start announcing it and all that, they start getting crazy in their rage and they feel like they can't live without you. And if they start talking about they're going to unalive themselves, be aware. Because if they're talking about they're going to take their self out, they're going to take you out right along with them. If they talk about any type of self-harm to themselves, that should be an alarm bell for you that they are going to take you out too. So I wouldn't even mention to a narcissist that you're going to leave. It's just you sneak on out discreetly. Sometimes you got to go into a DV shelter or you got to even move out of the city. I know it's dramatic, but if you want to live to see another day and you dealing with a narcissist like this man, you got to do it very discreetly.
That message to anyone else who may be going through something similar. In Dallas County, I'm Janelle Fort.
Now there's another interview that the sibling did that I kind of want to go over. I don't think we can look at all of it, but we'll look at some of it. It's really long, but let's take a look at this interview that the sibling did.
We asked him, he just showing up. So why did you take her from my niece? Like, I don't understand. I would respect him more if he tell me why.
We definitely need strength. We need prayers. It's a big one.
This is just sad. All these people.
Walk me through the last couple of days.
Well, on the 21st, it was my birthday. And she called me, she wished me happy birthday. It was like, normal, whatever. We was laughing, joking. And then she just said, like, sister, I feel like I'm finna die. So I was like, girl, whatever, brushed it off or whatever.
Did you hear that? She said, sis, I feel I'm gonna die. Guys, she knew, man. She knew. This is what I'm telling you, that your intuition will tell you. Her intuition was warning Desay to not go see that man or she was going to die, and she went anyway. That is so sad. Can you believe it? She said that, and even the sister brushed it off. What makes me wonder, how come the sister didn't ask more questions? If your friend or your family tells you they feel they're going to die, take their words very seriously. It's not a joke. They're not just talking. Anything when they mention type of death or danger, you need to take that very seriously. That is so sad.
You know, not thinking that's really how she was feeling. Like I guess she was feeling her death. So she kept saying her and my niece was gonna come and bring me a gift, but they never showed up.
Sorry,
What was
guys.
the process of actually putting in
Going
salt?
ahead.
So we had talked Sunday, and she was telling me how he was tripping at the fur, and he was trying to leave her and my niece. He was saying like she was trying to set him up, you know, flipping out, saying that she was trying to set him up. It was Facebook people out there. It was just some weird stuff, you know. So I called and FaceTime her Monday. She never reached back out to me. You know, she got a busy life.
See, something about narcissists, they always trying to accuse you of something. They always think you out to get them or do something to them. So he over here thinking that she's out here trying to set him up and all this because she's basically ready to leave him. So he think that she's trying to get him harmed in some way. Delusional much, basically.
So I was just like, maybe she'll call me back or something. And then I went to sleep just thinking it was normal. It wasn't nothing. Monday night, my niece called me around 12 something, and I was asleep. I was hearing my phone. I was hearing Facebook Messenger, and it was like it was just in my dream. But as I kept hearing it, I eventually woke up, and it was my brother girlfriend saying that my niece haven't heard from her since fall. She was stranded in my auntie house. And I'm like, what? You know, I don't know. I just was like, that's not her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she never leave my niece, no matter what. She never leave my mama, no matter what. So my brother and his girlfriend came, you know, and we just started searching from 12 all the way up until, you know, we had found her that morning. Her car was ditched in Pleasant Village. Like the way the car was set up, the way it was hid, I just felt it in my bones. Like she was gone, but I just didn't want to see it. It was too many red flags. We asked him, he just showing off a gun, telling my brother he don't know, and you know, knowing that he had already killed my sister. It's just unbelievable.
So there were red flags.
It was a lot of red flags.
What did she say about the red flags? About getting out, trying to leave?
No, she was just, you know, she always wanted that happy life. She was saying divorce, but he always come back and make her feel better. So it was just, she just loved him. That's it. Like she always wanted it to work. She was going through stuff, but who don't, you know? But we won't know like how deep it was or what all she was going through because she was very secretive. She just gonna tell you what she wants you to know, you know, because, you know, a lot of people go back and talk and, you know, stuff like that. So she wasn't giving her all or telling everything. Like my niece probably know more than anybody because that was like, they was best friends, you know, they was just always them. So she would talk to my niece and they'll be talking all times of the night about how he treating them and, you know, but it never got back to us. You know, we just got what she wanted to tell us.
Yeah. After they found her, what happened? What was the next progression?
After they found her, I lost my mind, so I really don't know what was next.
Just so sad, y'all. So sad. And just how he had the audacity, y'all, to wave the gun around that his broke, busted self couldn't even afford on his own, but used the money that Desay gave him to unalive her and then go act like he didn't know what happened to her. It is just so sad, y'all. So I really wanted to do this story to share Desay's story to say, guys, if you feel the need that you have to pay and support a man, he is not the right person for you. He is not. A man should be your equal. If a man is rushing you, for example, and you start dating a man and he's already telling you he loves you and talking about marriage after only a short time of knowing him, be very careful of that. If it's too good to be true, if it sounds too good to be true, it really is. Take your time, slow down the dating process. If a man's being abusive and you find yourself in a situation where he's not contributing to the relationship, sometimes you got to walk away. You don't have to be that ride or die woman. I know everybody talks about be that ride or die person, stay in these relationships. No, but sometimes you need to walk away from these relationships for your own well-being. And if you do, and if you realize the indicators of a narcissist, some of the signs of a narcissist, for example, I'll give you some signs. A narcissist will start out a relationship by love bombing you. He or she will want to speed up the relationship. They want to hurry up and get you emotionally attached to them. So they'll love bomb you. They'll give you all these future fake promises. They'll tell you all of these promises that they know they're not going to fulfill. For example, they'll talk about marriage because they know women love marriage. They'll tell you they love you because they know love can really start to get the woman, to feel connected to that man. It starts to open up the woman's vulnerabilities. Okay. A narcissist is someone who will always be the victim. They never take accountability. They're always going to blame everybody else for their situation. So you'll notice that when they're telling you about their past relationships, they'll never, ever take accountability. They'll always say that the person was crazy or they were this or that, or they were psychotic or they cheated on them. I don't know why they always say that their partner cheated on them. It's one of the same stories they always say, or they were using them or something. But you'll notice a pattern with them is they're always going to blame somebody else. They never will take accountability. Even in a relationship with you, you'll notice if you guys have disagreements or if you bring up things that they're doing to you, they won't take accountability. In fact, it will enrage them when you point out things that they're doing, and they'll turn around and flip it on you and blame you for stuff and say you're the bad person, and they'll deflect the very characteristics that you see in them. They'll start saying you're doing. For example, if you notice that he has an anger issue and you bring it up to him and say, honey, you need to really work on that anger. He'll flip it on you and say, oh, you have an anger issue. You need to work on your anger. And you'll be like, I don't have it. You'll be so confused because you'll be like, I don't have an anger issue. Or they will do things to get a reaction out of you. Maybe you didn't have an anger issue at the beginning of the relationship, but they will continually do things to get a reaction out of you. And one day you have a natural reaction to something they did and you blow up on them and you get mad because of how they treated you. And then they turn around and guilt trip you and make themselves to be the victim in the relationship. When it was something they did that any human being would have had a reaction to, they'll turn around and be like, oh, why did you say that to me, honey? Why did you? So when they do things to pick at your emotions, don't react. That's one thing you can't do is react, because they will take those reactions that you do and they will flip it around and make it look like you're the crazy person. You'll notice that. But the first characteristics you can notice when you're dating a guy or a girl, they try to love bomb you and they'll speed up the relationship. So if everything's happening so fast and it feels like a fairy tale and it's just like this rushed love and they're talking about marriage after a few dates, be very wary. And in that situation, if you want to keep dating that person, slow that relationship all the way down. And a lot of times with these men, they'll start calling you like these love bomb names like babe and honey and all these like words of endearment, love. Though, how you doing, love? Like you only been talking to this guy for a few days and he's already calling you love. It's psychological manipulation. Okay. So let's look at some of, another thing they'll do, y'all, is narcissists love to gaslight you. When you're dating these people, they will make you question your reality. So for example, maybe one day you guys are at dinner and they say something like, I hate that you do these stupid things all the time. Like you always forget to bring your keys with you. And then we're ended up locked out the car, right? And then maybe you confront him about that. You say, I don't like that you called me stupid. He'll be like, I never called you stupid. And you'll be like, yes, you did. You just called me stupid. He'll be like, you're just hearing things. You need to really get your hearing checked. I never called you stupid. So then you start questioning your reality. You start questioning whether you really heard that, or or something wrong with you. You start to feel confused, like thinking something's wrong with you. And they'll start doing that lighting and manipulation all the time, to the point where you start doubting yourself. You start feeling insecure about yourself. And you start to think that you need this person, because you don't even really know the things that you can't even really take care of yourself, because you don't know what's going on. So they do that gaslighting stuff. They love to manipulate you. They will become angry and enraged when you point out things that you see in them, and they'll turn around and, like I said, they deflect and flip it on you. And then when you're about to leave, or they'll just turn around and love bomb you again. Or they might just discard you themselves, just discard you and go with their new supply, because they always have somebody lined up. If they tired of you, they don't feel like you're a good enough supply, they might have another supply lined up. And then when they're tired of that new supply, they might come back and hoover you right back into that relationship again, and do the cycle all over again. Love bomb you, discard you, love bomb you, hoover you, discard you. It's this never ending cycle of abuse, until eventually you get tired and want to let them go. And when, by the time, if they're not ready to let you go, that's when it could become deadly, like it happened in this case with Desay, because Desay was the best love supply that he could ever get in his life. And he knew he was never going to get another Desay ever again. And so it was a matter of life and death for this man, because he had nothing else to fall back on. He knew once he lost her, he was going to be just this low life on the streets with no one to take care of him. So he was like, he didn't care to just unalive her and go right back to prison, because he has a place to stay in that prison cell. So there was no deterrence from taking her life, because he didn't have a life outside of this woman. So let's look at this right here. It tells us, just for us to learn for ourselves, what is a narcissistic personality disorder. The symptoms in the reports are, it may vary from person to person, but the most common symptoms include being overly boastful, exaggerating one's achievements. So this could be somebody who's always self-absorbed. They're all about themselves, always talking about themselves. They don't really care about you. They don't care about what's going on in your life. You notice they'll always be sitting there talking hours and hours about themselves. Pretending to be superior to others. They can do no wrong, basically. They are not going to take any accountability for the failures they make, because their egos are so fragile, because throughout their life, they have never felt good enough. So if you point out anything about them, they become enraged, because they're always trying to protect this false persona of themselves. And they lack empathy for others. You will notice this. You'll especially notice it in your relationship. You'll notice, like, if you come into him about something you're going through, he doesn't really care. He's not responsive. He doesn't have any empathy towards what you're going through. Or they might even fake empathy, though. That's why you got to be careful with this lack of empathy characteristic. Sometimes they can fake it. They'll pretend like they care. They'll try to emulate a person who has empathy, but it's not real. So you just have to watch and see if this person is consistently showing empathy. And your intuition will have to kind of help you with this characteristic. Looking down on others as inferior. Yes, they will. They will always talk about how they're better than everybody. Like, some men will just go around and brag about how all these women want them, and they're the most coveted man out there, and all these women are throwing themselves at that man. They try to make themselves to be just better, more on a pedestal than they really are in reality, basically, to keep you insecure and locked down, and think that, you got to jump through hoops to keep this man locked down, basically. Monopolizing conversations, making it all about themselves. They're impatient, you guys, and they're angry, unhappy, depressed, and have mood swings. Oh my God, when criticized. Woo, watch out for the mood swings, y'all. Watch out. If things aren't going good in their life, or they feel low, they will snap at you for any little thing. You'll notice how moody they are, and they have very, very dangerous, angry rages. You'll notice maybe one day you talk to them about you're feeling hurt that they did something to you, and out of nowhere they'll just blow up and become enraged, and you'll be so confused, like, why are they so angry? I'm just telling them how I feel. Like, you would think your partner cares about you when you're feeling hurt about something that they're doing, and they'll do anything to try to change it and fix it because they really love you. Well, no, when you tell them that you're about something you're concerned about that they did, it makes them angry at you, and they will blow up, and you will be so confused, like, oh my God, like, I did not expect this reaction. I thought that, he loved me or she loved me, and that if I tell them how I feel, they're going to want to listen. No, they don't care. They think you're attacking them. So they become defensive and protective over themselves, and they will become angry, and you will be like, oh my God, like you won't even expect it. It'll come out of nowhere. Especially the first time it happens, you will be like, what is this? Like, why is he so mad? I'm just trying to come to him as my partner to tell him I don't like something he's doing. And he's like enraged. And sometimes they do this as a scare tactic, because you'll become so fearful of him that you'll start keeping your feelings inside. You'll be too afraid to tell him how you're feeling because you're scared of how the person will react. So they do have a lot of anger, rage inside of them. They're easily disappointed when expected importance is not given. So when you're their supply, they expect you to give them certain benefits like attention and praise and stuff like that. And when they're not getting it, then they start to get disappointed in you. And they might pull back, and they may even discard you if they don't feel like you're pulling your weight as their supply, basically. And they always crave for the best thing in everything, and they have a very fragile self-esteem. That's dangerous too. A lot of these narcissists, you guys, are very insecure, and it's very dangerous, those type of individuals, because they can become so enraged and become violent toward you because of their very fragile egos. And another thing that narcissists do that this list doesn't talk about is they like to triangulate you with different people. So triangulate means like they might compare you to spout other people they dated, like maybe their ex-girlfriend or somebody that at the job that they like or has a crush on them. They'll be like, well, such and such, she would never do this, and you're doing this. Like, make that other person better than you are. And another thing they'll do too is they will tarnish your reputation. Like if you decide you want to walk away, they love to tell different people negative things about you and spread all these lies about you and call you crazy, and you're the person that has done all this horrible stuff to them, and they're the victim. They're always the victim. You'll know, you can tell who a narcissist is when they're always talking about how somebody did them wrong. And you'll probably ask them, well, what did you do wrong? If you ask them that, they'll be like, they won't tell you. They'll be like, I didn't do anything wrong. Right. Isn't she lovely is right. She must know about narcissists. She said narcissists lack empathy, so they mimic others because they need people to regulate their emotions. Exactly. And she's right. You'll always be walking on eggshells around narcissists. I know it's a very scary environment to live with a narcissist because you are always walking on eggshells. You don't know what you can say that's going to cause them to react. It's really scary because once you experience that moment of their rage, it's so terrifying that you don't want to see it again. So you're like Isn't She Lovely says, you're like walking on eggshells because you don't know what you're going to say that's going to get that rage reaction, and you're trying to avoid it. So you're always skeptical and afraid. You don't know what you could say with this man. So they're training you what they're, that's what she said. She's right. It's called smear campaign. They do this smear campaign, and what they do is they have these flying monkeys. That's a term that they call in the narcissist world. Flying monkeys are people who they basically use to go out and harass you and berate you, and like basically they're on the narcissist side. So that's what they do. They use these people that are called flying monkeys, and they go out and they will harass you and do different things for the benefit of the narcissist. So these are different indicators. And that's why I really wanted to go over this story, because this story can really help educate us about narcissists and how they act. And this man was exhibiting a lot of the qualities of a narcissist, even all the way down to the man's childhood and how he was using this woman and taking advantage of her. And even the post of what he was saying about her, you could see that he was a narcissist. So, oh, wow. Isn't She Lovely says she was married to one. Wow, you were? Oh my gosh. Okay, so you, girl, she must have experience. Well, thank you so much, Isn't She Lovely, for sharing your perspective, because you actually have had the experience. So you have personal knowledge of a narcissist. But yeah, I hope Desay rests in peace. If I know I was a little harsh on this story, and people might think, oh, I'm blaming the victim and such, and I'm not blaming the victim. Desay did not deserve what happened to her. It's so unfair that her life was ripped apart from her for this monster who didn't appreciate anything she did. I mean, she gave this man the world, guys, gave him a whole fairy tale, took him to all these lavish places that he never would have ever been able to experience, but for her giving her whole heart to this man. But this is a sad, sad tale that we should use to learn for ourselves, guys, to protect ourselves. Don't ever, ever invest in a man to this capacity like this, ever in your life. If you feel you're basically pouring into this man so much like this financially and he's not giving back to you and there's an imbalance in that relationship, he's not the one for you. And I know it's going to hurt to walk away. It is, because what these people do is they trauma bond you to them, and it's very hard to break the ties with these people, and they get you so locked in. So when you walk away, you know deep down it's the right thing to do, but you're so in love with this person that you feel the pain of being without them. But you're going to have to suffer a little while so that you can break away from these people. And when you do decide to break away, do it silently. Do not do it loudly and communicate it, because these people are very deadly and they have no hope sometimes in their mind. And if they're talking about, what they will do is they're going to talk about unaliving themselves. They always, sometimes, not all of them, but a lot of them. Not all of them, guys. But a lot of them will say, if you leave me, I'm going to unalive myself. If they say that, you guys, be very wary. Be very wary, because that means your life is in danger. They're not just going to, if they don't care about their own life, they definitely do not care about yours, and they will take you out right along with them. So when they start talking about unaliving themselves, you already should see that as a red flag that your life is in danger and you need to discreetly get the heck out of Dodge, and do not let him know where you are. I mean, you might have to even, it's crazy. You might have to just up and move sometimes. If you know, your intuition will tell you, like, Desay's intuition told her, guys. Desay's intuition told her that day when she died that she was going to die. And I think her intuition warned her, do not go see that man. And I don't know why she ignored it. I don't know why. It's like she was willing to give up her life for this man. She knew. She knew, because her intuition said, if you go see that man, he is going to unalive you. And she still decided to go. So we need to listen to those intuitions of still quiet voices. We have the gift of intuition and the gift of discernment for a reason, to protect us. And do not ignore the red flags. Do not, because even that, no matter how much they love bomb the heck out of you at the beginning of the relationship, there's always going to be some indicators at the beginning. Don't ignore them. Don't overlook them. It's not just a coincidence you're seeing those things. Take them for what they are and get the heck out of Dodge, because it might be protecting you and you might be protecting your children. All right. Have a good night, y'all. Love you. Stay safe out there.